Shishito, the treasured Korean village heirloom, whose name means seven-branched sword. Oh, we're going back to this already. It is said that this sacred sword represents life itself. While the branches may appear to be infinite, the choice is limitless. Like our destinies, the sword comes to but one end, one merciless point. And when the silver cord, the fragile thread that binds us to this world, is severed. Oh, Phoenix looks fucking spooked. Not the thread that binds me to the universe! The life stream! Oh, the illusion is revealed and the implicit of fate is finally laid bare. He's an English major. You know how I've got spiritual powers, unlike you. Way to rub it in, Maya. Sure. You are a spirit medium after all. Just like you, if I don't keep my powers sharp, they get dull, right? I guess so, yeah. So, that's why we need to go on a special spiritual hotspot tour, Mr. Nick. Ah, I'm lost. What's this magazine you're shoving in my face? It's the New Year's issue of Occult. Winter Spiritual Locations Special. Occult? Oh, because the occult. Okay, right. I thought it was going to be like a swear or something, like, oh, fuck, and that was like the pun. It's leaning towards a different word that begins with C there. I was thinking, that doesn't seem like a good, like, play on words to establish. Don't worry, I've already made special reservations just for us. I don't know how Pearl does it. Like, she's like 8 years old, and like, the world is just her oyster. Whatever she wants to do, she just somehow achieves it. I don't know how to take her seriously. Oh, come on, don't just stand there. Start packing your stuff. Yes, Mr. Nick. You'd better start packing your stuff. Huh? Me? Why do I have to go? Come on, Mr. Nick. Look at this place. Doesn't it look beautiful? Nope, not going. No, it looks horrendous, Pearls. Jesus, what, they haven't done anything with the decor there. Looks like crap. Wait, what the? This nun. Is she a friend of yours or something, Nick? Oh shit, it's Dahlia again. Is she just gonna be central to like every crime in this game? It really feels it. I'll go. Huh? Hazakura Temple. I said I'll go. I knew there was no way she could possibly be at that temple. Wait a minute! That's Don Tigre in disguise! He's done it again! Case closed, Your Honor. Wow, Mystic Myas, this is the famous Hazakura Temple. Early. Shoo! Well. Hello there. Wait a minute! That's Don Tigre! How nice to see you here! Welcome to our temple! Oh, thank you. Shoo! Oh my! Thank you for coming all this way! Come now! You must have been cold! Ho ho ho! Oh, we are high up in the mountains, after all. No, she's turning into Mo. Okay, we need a different voice. I'm the head nun here at the temple. My name is Bikini. It's the Kid Bikini. Actually, that's my temple name. What do you think? It's a tradition to have one, and I wanted something that has a nice image to it. So I thought, why not choose a bikini? Besides, it makes me seem younger. Wahaha, ho ho ho. Certainly does. Oh, I signed up for your special. We're just gonna gloss over that. Oh, my. Quite brave of you considering how cold it is. Young people can be so reckless with their health. Don't blame it on me now. You become one with those who you channel. Waha, ho ho. Maybe you should take it easy tonight, Mystic Maya. We can come back another day. You went through all that trouble to get reservations. Yes, that's right. You've come all this way, so please enjoy yourselves. There's still time before supper, so why don't you have a look around? Wow, she must have gotten off the trolley from the land of make-believe. Phoenix, you're one to talk. You've literally relied on spirits from beyond the grave to solve like 4 cases at this point. No, it's all make-believe. This sounds fake. Like, really? Oh well, look at that. I must say you look rather divine here, don't you think? Yeah. Unforgettable in every way. You mean it? Oh, I knew it. Waha, ho ho ho. The makeup was pretty tough, but Iris helped me out. Iris? The cute little girl in the photo? She looks just like me, doesn't she? We're just a small temple here, so she and I run the entire place. This Iris. Where is she right now? Oh, just listen to you. You haven't come all the way up here just to find a girlfriend, have you? Pearls, please. Anyway, Iris is in the inner temple, preparing for this evening. Inner temple? Yes, that's right. Iris will be back this evening. Why don't you go and have a look at the main hall for now? Waha. I feel like it should be Irish, but specifically this is like, wow, look at this broken down old bridge, Nick. Yeah, and look at that big canyon below us. Hey, there's a river down there. It looks like it's flowing real fast. Oh, this is Dusky Bridge, isn't it? We had it. This is the scene of the crime. They mentioned it was repaired in the last case. And I guess that was also 6 years ago. Also important context, that scene where Phoenix is in a hospital bed has not happened yet. Because apparently he doesn't recognize the bridge, and he investigated that case later. I think just like getting the timeline right is important. Maybe you should face your fear and try hurling yourself off the edge. You know, 1, 2, 3, jump. It might be just what you need to get over your fear of heights. Yeah, death is a real good way to overcome phobias, alright? I can't believe there's a public phone here. Who would ever use it? People who live here, I guess. I doubt they have any real phones here. Yeah, but it took like 20 minutes to walk here from the main hall. It would have been smarter of them to build the main hall here, don't you think? Maybe you should work on channeling someone who makes logical sense, Maya. Looks like it's about 20 yards to that cliff over there. Guess that's where I'll be training tonight. You want to train with me, Nick? To do the special course? I think not. But it'd be so great if you had spiritual powers, too. Really, I see dead people sounds more like a cause for alarm to me. Another cheeky pop culture reference there. The main hall. I think it's even colder in here. Achoo! Ah, Mr. Nick, do you smell that? It smells like meat and gravy. Yeah, you're right. I guess it's pot roast for tonight. Yum. Weird, I thought they would serve something a little more, well, traditional. What are you talking about, Nick? You think monks and nuns just sit around eating rice gruel all the time? Mystic Maya is right. Oh, I hope there's mashed potatoes too. I love mashed potatoes. You ever think like the Pope just gets McDonald's? I don't feel like blessing the bread tonight. Oh, give me a Whopper. It's just a McDonald's in the Vatican. You're just going up like the main steps, like on your left, fucking Ronald McDonald. Ba 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 ba. What a cute little acolyte. Oh, hello. Greetings to all of you. Oh, hello. Your outfit. Did you come here for the special course, too? Ha ha ha. Unfortunately, no. Actually, Ah! You're Miss Elise Duxton? Yes, that's right. You know of me. My name is Pearl Fay. I'm your biggest fan. Mr. Nick, don't you know anything? Don't you even know who this is? Well, an author, maybe? Yes, and an illustrator of picture books. Picture books, huh? Oh, now I get it. Miss Elise won an award last year for her book, The Magic Bottle. Yes, a friend of mine secretly submitted a story I had written to a publisher. They liked it so much that they asked if it was alright to make it into a book. Wow, it must have been a really great story. Recently, I've accepted a sort of apprentice, you might say. An apprentice? He calls himself Larice. Larice Stoneham. I believe he's off doing some landscape sketches now. On Larice's behalf as well, I'd like to thank you for your support. Of course, Mrs. Elise, anything for you. I want to do a book with a more Japanese feel to it this time. Was that why you're dressed like you are? Children have a certain image of me in their minds. I don't want to disappoint them. What can I say? She's a really sweet lady. And that's why she did the murder. She looks like she could be related to Maya. Oh, that's just me. Like the face. Well, you'll have to excuse me now. I have to go help with the dinner preparations. Wow, you mean you're cooking dinner tonight? That's right. Would you like to help too, Pearl? Yes, I want to help with whatever I can. Rose looks like she just won the lottery. Oh, I'll help too then. No, it's fine. Please don't worry about it. Feel free to relax and explore the area with your friend. Huh? But... Oh yes, please take this. I think it will be of help to you. God, it's... Remember where the rock is. Remember where that rock is. It's covered by the text box right now. That's going to be crucial. This will be important in court later. It's always a bit menacing when like nothing bad has happened yet. Like, remember this. Let's have a look here. That's a giant Magatama. There's a laughably large Magatama on the altar. You can see Cyclops with the tiny Magatama I've got. I can only imagine what kind of power this bad boy has under his hood. Phoenix, it's not like a desktop computer, okay? I don't think they work that way. It's the Megatama. I think that's... Oh, we get the wall as well. But the writing on these sliding doors are instructions for spirit channeling. Kind of like how we scribbled mat formulas on the bathroom walls to remember them. Who graffitied with mats, Phoenix? Oh look, one of those snow motorcycle things. Most people call that a snowmobile, you know. Snow motorcycle things. Snow blow meal. Same thing. Too bad we didn't invite Desiree. Bet she could race like the wind in this slowmobile. I'm barreling down the mountain, Maya. I can outrun the law more efficiently on this vehicle. We're not dead. We made it safely across. Didn't have to steal any diamonds that time. Yikes, that temple is in bad shape. Looks like it could collapse any time. Doesn't look that bad. It's just like a bit rustic. Inner temple, training hall. Man, look at this place. Just a tiny freezing cold room. This is where you'll both be training, huh? Huh? What do you mean both? I'm the only one. Really? But I thought... Pearlie's just a little kid. She couldn't handle this kind of intense training. She's only cut out for murder investigations and crime scenes. And representing her dead sister in court. Oh, this is Dahlia. Excuse me, but who are you? Ah. Hi there. We're just looking around since we're going to be staying here tonight. Something wrong? No, it's nothing. I wonder why she's spaced out like that. Don't you, Nick? Did you say something, Maya? Not you too, Nick. My name is Iris. I'm one of the nuns here at this temple. I'm Maya Fey. It's a pleasure to meet you. Pleasure is mine. Oh, please excuse me. I have some, chores to attend to. I guess she's just not used to talking with urban sophisticates like us. Nick? That girl. It can't be, but... Dahlia is supposed to be in prison right now, isn't she? Wait a minute! That was Don Tigre! Hanging scroll. Doesn't look that old either. Ah! Oh! What is it? Why'd you scream like that? This scroll. It's my mother. Oh, shit. What? It's Misty Fey, the master of the Karain School of Channeling. Are you sure? Yes. That crest at the top of the scroll. That's a special mark of the master of our tradition. That's what the mark means. If it wasn't for that crest, I wouldn't have even known it was her. My own mother. And I can't even recognize her face. Maya. Shows Misty Fey, master of the Karain technique. Honestly? Can vaguely see it. I don't know if that's the twist it's gonna pull. Work in theory. Would you mind moving? You're standing right in my way. Larry? Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Larry Stoneham? Liar, you're Larry. Your clothes may change, but you're still the butts. Shut up. I'm Larice, and I'm just here to do a sketch of Dusky Bridge. So it really is our Larry. Not that I get why he's pretending to be someone else. Wait a minute! Don Tigre! I want to start over again with a clean slate. A clean slate? You remember, don't you? Last time? The mask starred a mask case. After that, I started to realize I didn't like this guy known as Larry Butts. And that's when I came across it, the Book of Destiny. The Book of Destiny? Do you mean The Magic Bottle by Miss Elise Stoneham? It's so beautiful, so moving, so gentle. My heart felt cleansed, I was saved. She's the most wonderful person I've ever met. I'd follow her anywhere. Well, she certainly is a very elegant lady. You see. Here's a photo I took of her in secret. Okay, alright, that's a bit creepy, Larry. Wow, that's a beautiful photo. You want a copy, don't you? It's okay, I just happened to have made extra prints. Real fucking creepy, Larry? But alright. Something inside me ended and something else began. Oh, Larry, sounds like you've fallen in love with Miss Elise Stoneham. No, you're wrong. It's not her. It's the other girl. Other girl. Uh-oh. Got a bad feeling about this. Larry, I hope you're excited to be involved in yet another murder. Oh yeah, her, my little Iris. She's really pretty. This girl, she's perfect. She's exactly my type. Wonder if she would model for me. I want to draw a portrait of her. Everyone. Hey, Pearlie. Dinner preparations are complete. Please come quickly to the main hall. Alright, I can't wait to dig in, Pearly. I'm going to go to the inner temple and call Sister Iris. I also want to have a look at where Mystic Maya is going to be training. I mean, that seems really fucking dangerous just to leave a child unsupervised on the rickety rope bridge in the mountains. Also in the custody of someone who we suspect is actually a murderer. Phoenix is not a great guardian. Oh, well. Let's not have dilly-dally, shilly-shally. You must get ready for tonight. Good luck, Maya. Alright, here I go. I'll see you all tomorrow, I guess. Iris, please use the bell at 10 for lights out, alright? And then after you ring the bell, I want you to come join us at the training hall. I understand, Sister Bikini. Well, Pearl, what are you going to do tonight? Well, if you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together. Really? I'd love to. I'm not very good at reading. Aha, well then, would you like to practice reading with me? Ah, I'd love to. Miss Elise. So for example, how do you read this? It says gravely. It's kind of a tough word. Oh, okay. And what about this word? It's another tough one. It says roast. What kind of book is she reading anyway? Gravely roast. Well, I'm going to go wash the dishes and help clean up. I'll go visit when when I'm done, Miss Elise. Cookbook. I don't think a cookbook would have the instructions to gravely roast something. Why couldn't the nearest bathroom just be just a little closer to my room? Mr. Wright? Yeah. Oh, Miss Stoneham. Are you going to use the bathroom too? No, but have you seen Pearl? No, not since after dinner. I thought she said she was going to go to your room. I know. She never showed up. I'm going to go look for her. Excuse me. You really shouldn't let the child go unsupervised. Like, she's 6. Love of God, Phoenix. Oh. Ah! Sister Iris. Good evening. Are you on your way to the bathroom too, Mr. Wright? Can't let this chance pass me by. You tried to talk to her, and maybe get some answers. So, when did you come to Hazakura Temple? I don't remember. Ever since I was a small child, the temple has been my home. So you've never left? Well, I don't have any family left to take care of me. Sister Bikini. Come to think of her as my real mother, as it were. Ah, I see. But didn't you go to college? Maybe even enroll in the Ivy University Literature Department? No, I never had an interest in going to a big university like that. My training is all the education I need. I see. I don't see any Cyclops. Well, I guess that means she's not lying. Please don't stare at me like that. Ah! Is something wrong? I didn't realize it was so late. I have to go and ring the bell for lights out. This is almost 10 now, huh? Mr. Wright. Yes? If it's alright with you, I would like you to have this. This is your hood. It has the power to protect you from evil spirits. And to think of it, Sister Bikini was wearing one of those too. I pray for your safety on this dark, cold night. Okay, so it does seem something's up. There isn't any Cyclops, but we've had this exact scenario before at the end of Justice for All. I think it's too obvious if she's just Dahlia. But at the same time, it's gonna be real fucking weird if it's like, surprise, I'm the twin sister you never knew about. Like, you know? Okay, Iris's hood received from Iris. She knows something's on, but I think it's too obvious that she's just Dahlia. Wait a minute, Sister Iris. Yes? Just now, you called me by my name. You said Mr. Wright. How did you know my name? I never introduced myself to you. That's... Sister Iris. Please tell me the truth. You and I. Have we ever met before? Okay, here we go. Right. Jesus. Oh, it's almost 10. Perhaps we can speak again. Tomorrow. Okay, something going on. 5 Cyclops is a lot. Ah? What the? That blood-curdling scream came from the courtyard. Oh shit! That scream, I'm sure it came from around here. Ah! Someone's there on the ground. Miss Stoneham. Squish. Just stepped on something soft. Hey, don't step on my tummy like that. What are you doing lying there in the snow? I was passed out. What do you think? That blood-curdling scream was you. Forget about that. Hurry up and call the police. Is there even a phone in the main hall? No, but we still get reception up here in the mountains. You must have a cell phone on you, right? I didn't bring it with me. Oh, you're useless. That's the whole point of having a phone. I mean, even Iris has a cell phone. You've got no choice. You have to use the public phone by Dusky Bridge. Hurry, hurry. Run as fast as you can. Yes, ma'am. Ah. Dusky Bridge. It's burning down. What the heck happened? Ah. Huh? What is it? Is it me? Don't scare me like that, Larry. I almost had a heart attack. My name isn't Larry, it's Larice. Larry, hurry up and call the police. I'm going to the inner temple. Don't be stupid. The bridge is nothing but a burning wreck right now. Listen to me. There's been a murder here at Hazakura Temple. What? The murderer might have fled across the bridge. I have to make sure Maya is safe. But please call the police. I've got to go. Get out of my way, Larry. Oh no, Phoenix, what are you doing? It's too dangerous, Nick. Wait. It must have been crazy. I knew how dangerous it was, but I still went for it. Oh shit. Weakened even more by the fire. The rickety old bridge's planks snapped and gave way. As I was swallowed by the eternal darkness that surrounded me. A final terrified scream rose up to pierce the frozen air of that harrowing night. Okay, I think we found out how Phoenix ended up in hospital. Ring, ring. Who could that be at this time of night? Beep. Yes, Edward speaking. Edgy, get up, it's an emergency. Huh? Larry? Do you know what time it is? It's not Larry, it's Larice. Larice Stoneham. It's nothing more than a terrible nightmare. I'll just roll over and... Wait, don't hang up. It's an emergency. It's Nick. He took a really nasty spill. Well, it wouldn't be the first time, so... I'm not joking. His life is in danger. What? What happened? Tell me. Talk about a guy with bad luck. He may already be dead. Anyway, you've got to come back. You're the only one that can help. My Iris, my beautiful Iris. She needs help. All right. I don't know what's going on, but I'll be there as soon as I can. I'm at the detention center. Please, hurry. It's been 1 year since I left that country. Oh God, because Edward's still abroad. You're late, Edgy. What took you so long? I don't want to hear it. I chartered a private jet to come as quickly as I could. Something happened to Miss Elise, and Nick is Maya, and Iris's bikini. This is why they shouldn't have named her Bikini. Before I came here, I stopped by the hospital and paid Wright a visit. I believe I have a better understanding of the situation than you at this point. The murder victim was the picture book author, Miss Elise Stone. She was found by Wright and the head nun. The suspect is the temple's younger nun. Then later, while Wright was crossing the bridge, it broke and he fell into the river. The hospital says he'll need at least 2 days of bed rest. But they arrested her, my sweet little Iris. And here I was, convinced he was the one the police had arrested. However, I still don't understand what these two items are for. What are you talking about? They're things Wright gave to me when I was leaving his room. This is the first. He said some nonsense about being able to see into people's hearts with this. And the other... Of course he fucking gave his badge. Of course he did. Edgeworth, wait! You need this! It proves I'm a lawyer! He couldn't possibly be asking what I think he is, could he? I'm begging you, Iris's trial starts tomorrow. With Nick out of the picture, you're all I've got left. You're the only one that can represent her. What did you just say? You know, represent, defend. What were you expecting? Why do you think I called you anyway? I'm a prosecutor, Larry. A prosecutor. Don't worry about it. I promise I won't tell. But I mean, I heard a paper badge had no problem fooling an entire court before. Look at this country's judicial system had fallen into such decay. Yeah, me too, Edgeworth. Please, Edgy. At least listen to her. Listen to Iris' side of the story. So Wright wasn't joking when he gave me this badge after all. Mr. Wright, how is he? Mr. Lowry said that he might even die. Fortunately, he will be fine. Larry, you moron, how could you say something like that? He was badly bruised when he hit the water, but otherwise he is unharmed. Thank goodness. I must be imagining things. This woman. I feel like I've met her before. Oh shit, we're playing as Edgeworth. All just straight up? Okay. Pardon me, Iris. I would like to ask you something if you don't mind. I have a distinct feeling you and I have met before. It must be your imagination, Mr. Edward. After all, I hardly ever leave Hazakura Temple. I've committed some sins. Sins that I need to pay for. That's why I'm there. Why I continue to train. To purify my soul. Okay, she's involved in something, but it's still too obvious that it's Dahlia. It's still... Because Dahlia's in prison as well. I thought that's what happened. I helped to clean up after dinner and then went back to my room at about 8. Later, I left my room to ring the lights out bell at 10. Bell. We ring it at the same time each night. I see. And then I was told to go to the training hall, but went back to my room and stayed there. Why didn't you go to the training hall like you were asked to? I was frightened. Frightened? What exactly were you so frightened of? Okay, she's lying again. What in the world? Oh, this is all new to Edgeworth. He doesn't even have like Maya or anyone here to explain it. Is there something wrong? I'm sorry, it's nothing. I'm sorry, the jet lag is hitting me quite stronger than I remember. I visited Wright at the hospital before coming here. He asked me to take care of you. Me? Yes, at the trial tomorrow. He asked me to defend you. If Mr. Wright has that much faith in you, Mr. Edgeworth, then I will gladly entrust my fate to your capable hands. But before that, I have one question. Yes. Do you know Wright? Why would you ask that? Whenever you came up in our conversation, you would begin to act a little strange. Mr. Edgeworth, what is Mr. Wright to you? I think the fandom's got some ideas there, Iris. He's a very dear and indispensable friend. It was 5 years ago. That's when I deceived him. You deceived him? I heard that he was in a lot of pain afterwards because of what happened. I know what a weak person I am. That's why I thought it was best if he never saw me again. You should go to him. Tell him the truth. I'll defend you, but only if you agree to that one condition. All right, Mr. Edgeworth. I promise. So she's related to the crime 5 years ago. That much seems certain. Of course, she is Dahlia, but she was possessed by a spirit medium. So this is it. Dusky Bridge. Oh wow, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, Gumshoe. Detective Gumshoe. Why does no one treat Gumshoe with the love and respect he deserves? Long time no see. It's been about a year, or has it been longer? It doesn't matter, Detective. What does matter is why you're shuffling around up here. Oh, ouch. And there's that sharp left jab. Well, I'm happy to see you anyway, Mr. Edgeworth. Let me guess. You were transferred by HR to the local precinct. A wise decision. The vast amount of nothing up there should be quite easy to guard. Jesus, Edgeworth. I'm just going to ignore that comment. I heard you were back in the country and arranged to come all the way out here. Everybody was real nice. They even let me take charge of the investigation, sir. This is the bridge that Wright fell through. Yup, I can't imagine being that reckless myself. Look before you cross. That's how it goes, right? What was that leap? And? Is there something on the other side? Yeah, some old building they call the Inner Temple. But we can't get over there without a bridge, sir. What? Nobody lives there, so it's usually not a problem. Someone was at the Inner Sanctum doing some training, and now they're stuck there. Oh, poor Maya is, like, trapped over there, apparently, yeah. So how did this bridge burn down anyway? I'm almost 100% sure it was lightning. Lightning? Oh, it seems way too convenient, though. It's fucking lightning again, yeah. We've had this before. Who is this prosecutor Gato? I've never heard of him. Yeah, he's a new guy. Showed up right after you left the country. He's been filling in for you, sir. The game still needed a prosecutor antagonist. You didn't pick up your phone, sir. For some reason, Gato has really got it from Mr. Wright. Oh? Yeah, he seems to have some kind of a grudge. And what would be the cause of this grudge? I don't know. Maybe he made fun of his mask or something. None of this is making any sense. I better look into this Gato myself. This is a very detailed weather report. Almost too detailed. It even has the exact time that the lightning struck the bridge. Oh, that. We got that information from the witness's testimony. Someone actually saw the lightning hit the bridge. Who is this witness? Sorry, I'll go ask one of the local cops later, sir. Yo, Edgy, what took you so long? I'm so cold my brain's turned to sherbet. I knew it was a mistake to race back to this country. What do you mean? Wright is going to be fine. And the case itself isn't anything unusual. And I find myself taking a request to defend a woman accused of murder. Hey, wait a sec. Hold it. Objection. Prosecutor Edgeworth is a prosecutor, and that's why he's Prosecutor Edgeworth. Prosecutor Edgeworth, defense attorney, just sounds plain old weird, pal. Right, Prosecutor Edgeworth? Iris didn't murder her, someone else did it. I just know it, okay? So trust me on this one. Ever the romantic, aren't you, Larry? Nevertheless, I'll do whatever I can to prove her innocence. At least until I pass the baton on to Wright, that is. On the night of the murder, where were you and what were you doing? Oh, he's got his own Cyclops, right. Okay, so Larry's got something to hide as well. Ooh, this has less snow on it. That has been used. But I don't think Edgeworth will be able to pick up on that. I'm sorry to trouble you. But I'm looking for a woman in a bikini. Dear God. Have you asked nicely? I might give you a peek, big boy. This is the head nun, Sister Bikini. She's the witness. Why didn't you tell me that earlier? That's exactly why your salary keeps on getting cut. Oh no, not again. No, I can't say it. It's too much for my poor heart. Hey, calm down, lady. Let go of my tie. Oh shit, okay. I saw two people. One of them was lying on the ground. The other one was stabbing her from the back. With his sword. Did you see this criminal? With your own eyes. I didn't want to believe what I was seeing. But it was Iris. However, the idea of Iris doing such a foul act seems unnatural. Unnatural. The girl I know simply isn't capable of this sort of foulness. I wonder what she means by that. As the head nun, it's your duty to stay with the acolyte at all times, correct? Yes, that's correct. I know I may look strong, but the truth is, I've got a bad lower back. A bad lower back? Yes, it's especially bad in the winter. So bad that I can't even lift a bucket. Do you remember how cold it was last night? My bad back felt as stiff as frozen glass. I just wanted to take a nice hot bath to ease my aching back. That's why I returned to the main hall. So you left the disciple all alone. Don't be ridiculous. I would never do that. That's why I ordered Iris to the inner temple after she had rung the bell for lights out. Yes, but she never went to the inner temple, did she? So this head nun actually see Iris there? Oh dear dear. There's one thing I forgot to tell you. Oh, I don't think I like the sound of this. Do you know that small girl? I believe she is Mystic Maya's little sister. Maya has a little sister. Oh, Edgeworth never really met Pearls. Oh, you mean Little Pearl? That's Maya Faye's cousin. Little Pearl. I thought she was going to visit Mystic Elise after we'd finished with dinner cleanup. But I haven't seen her at all since late last night. She's nowhere to be found. Oh shit. The little girl who was with the victim on the night of the murder is gone. Oh no, yeah, Pearls is missing. Pearls did the murder. Okay, there is a suspicious piece of paper here that I'm just dying to investigate. There are more ends of cushions in the corner of the room. What's that white piece of paper sticking out from under that stack? Hey. What is it, detective? This could be it. An ultra important clue. A super special clue. It looks like a letter addressed to Sister Iris. Tonight at 10 at Heavenly Hall. Unless you want your secret to be exposed. Ooh. Salutation here. There's something I must talk to you about. I'll be waiting for you tonight at 10 at Heavenly Hall. Make sure you come unless you want your secret to be exposed. And this is where the murder took place, sir. Other than removing the body, we've left everything else untouched. Thanks, detective. I'll just have a look around. Looks like the police are still investigating. What's this? It looks like a wizard's staff. Okay, crucially, the gem is missing. That belonged to the victim, Miss Elise Stoneham. There's nothing strange or magical about it. Oh yeah. Listen, this is just between us, okay, sir? Yes? What? This is top secret stuff. Don't tell anyone about this. Alright. The truth is, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a wizard. I can hear the salary cutting noises already. There are fingerprints all over the hilt of the Shichishito too. Fingerprints. Naturally, they match the prints we got from the younger nun, the defendant. Fingerprints are on the murder weapon. What's wrong? You're looking really solemn. The apparent murder weapon has the victim's blood and the suspect's fingerprints on it. Right. No chemical factories here. The estimated time of death of the victim was between 10 and 11 on February 7th. Cause of death was blood loss resulting from a stab to the back by the murder weapon. The victim's entire body was covered with bruises. The bruises are consistent with falling from the height of a 2-story building. It'll be about the same height as the room in front of us, correct? Hey, you're right. Way to go, Mr. Edgeworth. It just happens to be the room that Elise Stoneham was staying in. Maybe she was pushed out the window after she was stabbed by the sword. The trial begins tomorrow, but who's the prosecutor? I'm pretty sure it's that Gatto guy, but nobody can get a hold of him. They're looking for a replacement. What do you mean? It's really weird. All of a sudden, no one can reach him. Oh, I wonder if the rumors are true. Maybe since Mr. Wright caught a cold and won't be defended, he just lost interest. There's no need to worry. I pulled a few strings and arranged for a prosecutor of my own choosing. Wow, Mr. Edgeworth. I had no idea you had such a powerful string to pull. We arranged a prosecutor. I just finished speaking with the head nun of Hazakura Temple. She testified very clearly as to what happened. She said she saw you stab Miss Elise Donham with a sword. And one other thing. She said that when Maya Fey began her training at the Inner Temple, you were there as well. What? When I spoke with you last, you claimed that you never went to the Inner Temple. And yet, Sister Bikini said she met with you at the Inner Temple that very night. But I didn't go there. I didn't go to the Inner Temple last night. Now then, is it really true that you didn't go to the Inner Temple last night? Yes, I swear. I already told you that. Yes, you said you didn't go because you were frightened. That's right. If that's the case, then the obvious question is, what were you so afraid of? I found this in the main hall. It is addressed to you. Ah, that's... Well, Iris? Why? Why are you glaring at me like that? You were scared of the blackmailer who wrote this to you, isn't that correct? Ah! Was it the evidence of the power of my glare that broke that lock? Oh well, I don't suppose it matters either way. I thought that letter was just someone playing a prank on me. A prank? Well, yes. After all, even if I did have a secret, there's no one to tell it to that would cause any grief. Unfortunately, I don't know the exact nature of your secret yet. However, whatever it is, there is one person you didn't want your secret told to. Yeah, it's Phoenix. Phoenix Wright. You mean something to Wright, it seems. And I can tell he holds a special place in your heart as well. That's why you didn't want him, of all people, to know your deep, dark secret. Well, what do you have to say? Should have expected as much, especially from a friend of his. After dinner, this letter was waiting for me in my room. As I said, I was frightened by it. What is this heavenly hall the letter mentions? It's a small mountain shack at the base of Dusky Bridge. A small shack, huh? More like a broken down shack that no one would ever want to go near. It's around here. To get there, you must follow a small path down from Dusky Bridge. The reality is, to get to the Inner Temple, you had no choice but to cross that bridge. I was so scared by the whole affair that I didn't even want to think about it. This is the secret that you locked away in your heart. Yes. It looks as though I may have to visit this heavenly hall now. Maybe I'll find some sign of our mystery blackmailer. In any case, you can still claim to have never left your room last night, correct? Yes, that's exactly right. Okay, Iris's testimony. Rang lights out bell at 10 p.m. and was then in her room until the murder was discovered. I'm going to win so that you and Phoenix Wright can see each other again. But when I do, you must promise me that you will tell him your secret. But it's pointless. Why would you say that? Because I may know who Phoenix Wright is, but he has no idea who I am. Oh no, Larry. Oh, why? Why does this always happen? Well, it's just Larry, we're okay. I knew it. I shouldn't have done that. I blew it again. And that, what did he do, I wonder? Hey, you. How about what you just said? I got an objection. What the? Edgy, you dirty rat! Larry, do you know what the difference between graffiti and true art is? It's how the artist himself defines it, right? Yeah, close enough, Larry, close enough. The author gets to say exactly what the piece is and it's not open to interpretation. Bada bing, bada bum. That's that the author never heard of him as a concept. Alright, now you're going to tell me what you really saw last night. Whoa, you're really upset, aren't you, Edgy? Okay, I'll talk. Huh? That was a bit too easy. Yeah, anyway, it was awesome. Never seen anything like it. Around 10 o'clock last night, it started thundering. I've been sleeping, not sure for how long. Suddenly, zing! The world in front of me went white. And then it was on fire. The bridge was on fire. Dusky Bridge caught on fire. Are you saying you saw it with your own eyes? Hey, why you give me the evil eye? I'm telling the truth. There are still 3 psycho locks remaining. That means he's still trying to hide something. As usual, you're as transparent as an empty jelly jar. It's impossible for you to have seen the lightning strike Dusky Bridge from your room. It is? Oh yeah, I mean, okay. The Rock! The Rock has come into play! The place you witnessed lightning strike Dusky Bridge was right here. Why would it be hanging out in this old shack? It's freezing cold, there's no electricity, and it could fall apart any minute. Larry, how do you know that anyway? How do you know there's no electricity? After all, it's not that dark yet. Ah, uh-oh. In other words, you've just provided evidence to prove my theory. My theory that you've at least once in your life visited Heavenly Hall after sunset. Wait, no, Larry couldn't have sent that. There's no way. What? Oh, hey, give that back. You're embarrassing me. Wait, was this really Larry's letter? First of all, what's this at the top of the letter? It says salutation here. That's what it said in that book. Letter writing for dummies. That's where you're supposed to write, Dear Iris. I'm so sorry. Come on, Edgy. Don't you get it? Talking about the secret love between her and me. All right, then why did you send a love letter in a business-like manila envelope? That's the point that you're taking issue with, Edgeworth. You should have used a different envelope. If that's all there is to your story, your heart wouldn't have had all those locks. Therefore, Larry, I do believe you saw something last night. Something more incredible than lightning. What, when, where, why, how? Hey, what do you think you're doing? If you hide anything from Mr. Edgeworth, I'll arrest you on the spot, pal. We don't... Larry, what the fuck? Jesus Christ! What did you do, Larry? I really want to drag the truth out of him. I just have to drag him to the witness stand. Oh, okay, we're not gonna address those. We're gonna have to interview Larry in court next. I just want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Miss Elise Donham, correct? I do find it kind of hilarious before we go into court. It's like, I'm just saying, if you did it, you want to admit it now. I've got my suspicions here. It kind of looks like you did it, you know? Are you sure? Here we go. 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 7. There's no one. Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris and Hazakura Temple. The defense is ready, Your Honor. An empty prosecutor's chair can only mean the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. It would seem this case is already over before it had a chance to begin. Let's all hop round the Tims now. Oh no, he's wrapping up. I'm ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds the defendant. Objection! She's back! The prosecution stands ready. And you are Franziska von Karma, prosecution prodigy. Von Karma, you say? Does that name instill some fear in you, Your Honor? This promises to be interesting, Miles Edgeworth. I had expected to face Phoenix Wright here today, but looking at you now, maybe this is what I have been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you slip through my fingers. And so it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney. Here we go, Edgeworth. Oh, someone get her a box, please. Witness, please stand up nice and straight. If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for our back-pained, plagued witness. Once again, your name and occupation, please. There's Lord me. Well, I'm the head nun of Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name is Bikini. You got it? Bikini. Nice to meet everyone. But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now. Canadian judge, please. The courtroom is the garden of holy judgment. Those with lechery in their hearts should leave this sanctuary at once. Thank you, Franziska. That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, a back likes to act up violently. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to Hazakura Temple. There's no bath at the inner temple, you see, and I needed a long hot soak. It was after I had finished just as I was heading back. That's when I saw it. Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their powers of observation and memory, after all. Well. Don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of fate, after all. The head honcho of Hazakura Temple. In that case, Miss Honcho, I'd like you to explain something for me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all. No, she said that. A defendant or a witness. Who is more likely to lie, do you suppose? Like, Franziska's actually kind of right here. I agree with her. The defendant is simply lying to cover her back. That is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi. Okay, yeah, that actually is a fair point by Edgeworth. Edgeworth as well. Damn, he's good. He does not have an assistant here, similar to Phoenix, when like Maya's always by his side. I finished my bath around 11, and I thought I should return to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look and Iris was, oh, Mystic Elise. And with that sword of all things, Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room, which faces out onto the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window. The body fell 10 feet after death. Okay, yep. So the order of the crime here is actually important. Miss Von Karma, would you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report? The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed. I believe, Franziska, you may not have obtained the updated autopsy report. If that is the case, then the victim must have been killed in her room. Don't you agree? That is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room. And she was then thrown out of her window, down onto the courtyard below. Were there any signs of a struggle in Miss Donham's room? She was stabbed with a sword. That would leave a bloodstain, wouldn't you agree? Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, that would be when the blade is removed. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mr. Elise. I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I awoke, Mr. Gamey was stabbing Mr. Elise through the back. Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her, plain as day. Did someone else do it? I saw the instant which the blade plunged into the hilt was smoothly drawn out. That's huge, yeah. Smoothly, you say? You're saying you saw the sword smoothly slide out? Okay, and that's gonna be the piece, because with the that's not gonna come out easy. There's no way you could just like withdraw that from someone's body if you stab them. The sword was buried up to the hilt. Oh, okay, no, maybe it's just that detail. Yeah, there would be so much more blood. If it was up to the hilt, yeah. Okay. Sister Bikini, you're a reliable witness. At least, I like to think so. But there are too many contradictions here. What do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. Honestly, real quick aside, as far as witnesses go, this is absolutely one of the better ones that we've had. She's still got character, and she's not just like obnoxious or annoying. Genuinely like top tier witness. The weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities. Explain yourself. To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that. Doesn't appear? What meaningless dribble. I too may appear to be weak and frail, but I can crush men under my heel and make them weep, should I so choose. The objection stands. I wept a little back there, I must admit. Franziska could kill someone if she wanted to, but I mean, the particular nature of this sword, it's like downright impossible. Like anyone would struggle with this. There's still one more. Conclusive contradiction. You've still got more. This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust in all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood in the tip of it? Yeah, I mean, that's like, I'll be honest, Franziska, you kind of overlooked that detail. That one's pretty clear. The weapon used to kill the victim was not the Shichishito. What? A foolish idea, born from the foolish mind of a foolish, foolhardy, foolish fool. You know, we have a counter for Gatto's coffee. Can we get one started for fools? Can we please have a fool counter going? I think these are the first fools of the night. So that's 6 to start with. So maybe the Shichishito was not the murder weapon. Even if that is the case, it changes nothing. Miles Edgeworth. She saw the defendant stab the victim with a sword-like object. That's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth. If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises. The obvious question? Yes, namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? I think I might know where the sword was disposed of. You what? I love when Edward makes that face. It's like the world is ending kind of despair. He's lost all hope. I saw the murder at around 11 p.m. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there I saw tracks. Tracks that indicate the snowmobile had been used. Oh, this is coming up. We actually observed this ourselves earlier. It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all. There's evidence someone walked too? There's very clearly footprints. I admit this photograph proves something. It proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder. You finally accepted the inevitable, it seems, Miles Edgeworth. However, if what the witness says is true, then why is there only one set of tracks? Iris left Hazakura Temple, threw the weapon into the river and then returned. If this was the case, then naturally there should be 2 sets of tracks in the snow. Those from heading out to the bridge and those from coming back. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. The tracks to the river were covered by snow. What a nice theory. However, Miss Von Karma, that is impossible. Would you care to explain why there is a rude index finger currently pointed in my general direction? He's flipping you off! No, I don't think Edward has the middle finger raised at Francisca. Why would you think that? On the contrary, Francisca, go fuck yourself. Please take a look at this data. It is the weather report for Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder. The weather report? Snow started to fall at 7 p.m, but it stopped at around 10:50. The snow had already stopped falling. It is impossible for any tracks made after that time to have been covered up. Very well then. Looks like Miss Von Karma's claim has been snowed in, really, Your Honor? Someone has been murdered. When is a weather report ever correct? This isn't a forecast. This is actual data. Forecast data. All weather reports have some inaccuracies, but this is reported after the fact. It may have still been snowing in the vicinity, well past 11 p.m. But it wasn't. What? What? How can you accept that? They're dead and there's no snow on them. It still feels weird to disregard 2 different pieces of evidence that I've had to prove it was snowing on that night, you know? Like that, it is just a bit of a stretch. As you can see, everything is covered with snow, with just one exception. And that is the victim herself, Miss Elise Stoneham. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It had stopped snowing when she was killed. That's why. Foolish Edgeworth. You will need another piece of evidence to prove there was no snow. The body could have simply been moved. So then what was the snowmobile used for? It wasn't taken by the defendant when she went to the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that was the case, there should be 2 sets of tracks in this photo. Was there no one out walking perhaps near Dusky Bridge on that night? Okay, so this is where Larry comes in. I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot will go out wandering in that. And the game even gives you a subtle clue that you need Larry. Something is coming to me. An idiot. An idiot may well have gone wandering out on the subarctic that night. You know of someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder. I don't know for sure if he saw it or not. But there are 2 things about him that do come to mind. Which are, first, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder. And the second being, this individual that I am thinking of went wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he is our kind of idiot. The court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. Miss Von Karma, please see to preparing the next witness. Understood, Your Honor. Good. Well then, court is now in recess. There are 2 things which I need to ask you before we reconvene. Alright, I'll help you in any way I can. First, about that night. You really didn't go to the inner temple, correct? Like, we have a brief recess, Iris. Are you sure you didn't kill him? Are you positive? You didn't kill her. Can you sign this contract declaration stating that here for me? Did you forget about killing her? Sometime between 10:30 and 11 p.m. that night. Were you the one who used the snowmobile? There's only one key for the snowmobile. The only person who could have used it was me. So it was you. But why? What made you go out to Dusky Bridge? I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. What? I'm trying to represent you. I can't tell you about that yet. Yet. Not until her safety is confirmed. Did she take Pearl? What? Iris, look me in the eye and tell me the truth. Did you kill... Are you positive? Did you do it? Are you sure you don't misremember the facts? Did you kill them, Iris? Larice Donham, I hope you're ready. Get in here. It would seem that whip is going to see plenty more use today. I was at that lodge out in the mountains looking up at the stars that night. I walked to the bridge a number of times, but I didn't see a snowmobile. The girl I was waiting for didn't show up. My teacher died of me. I'm all alone now. Aren't I, Edgy? Oh my god, Larry, that's your concern right now. Witness, please refrain from talking directly to the lawyers during your testimony. I'm just a nobody, nothing but a small, worthless man, aren't I? Why wasn't I asked for my name and occupation or anything else? Mr. Edgeworth, this man seems to have quite a severe inferiority complex. He's recently been the cause of numerous incidents. I think he's finally realized for himself. just how much of a nuisance he has been to other people. Yeah, that's right, I'm behind everything, every case. Watch out, okay? Just touching me will make you eternally unhappy. It was this man's intention to summon the defendant to the small shack. Using this blackmail letter. You huffy, puffy, loosey-goosey excuse for a whimpering, whining wuss of a witness. You tell him, Franziska. I went to the shack at around 9. So it would have been about 10:30. I was lying under my bed when a white flash almost blinded me. I looked out the window and Dusky Bridge was on fire. Yeah, I thought I'd better tell someone about this. Then Nick came up yelling about murder. Totally made me forget about the bridge. Fire was pretty much out by then anyway. This feeling, I suddenly have a terrible case of unease. It was after contacting the police that Phoenix Wright fell from the bridge, correct? Yeah, it's pretty much it, more or less. I have the weather data from the night of the murder here. According to this, the lightning fell at 10:45 p.m. You say it takes less than 5 minutes from the shack to Dusky Bridge. I mean, you probably got there at around 11 p.m. That all sounds about right, I guess. And then Nick showed up and did his fallen act. 11 p.m. is when the murder occurred in Hazakura Temple. Thus, Wright was still there, in the courtyard. There is no way that Larry could have encountered him at Dusky Bridge at that time. You arrived at the bridge at 11 p.m. But Wright did not make it there until at least 11:15. I suggest you stop hiding things and just tell us the whole truth. Now then, what happened during those missing 15 minutes? I'm a donim, I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. I was whipped up into a frenzy of art. The shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page. Before I realized that the flames had gone out and then he came running up. So he was just drawn. Sketching the burning bridge. The burning bridge and everything that came with it. What came with it? Enough. Just take that ridiculous sketch of yours out already, witness. This is the world of Larry Stoneham. Is that a person? It's a better drawing than I expected. Isn't it? Isn't it? I struggled to reproduce those flames, I really did. Yes, I'm sure you did. You're gonna get a penguin bar in your lunch today, Larry. Larry. What? The burning bridge is fine. But what is that unfortunate looking figure? Ah, you spotted that, I thought you might. It's Iris, of course, it's Iris. I wish she'd take better care of herself. We have to plan for her future, you know? What would have happened to her if she had injured herself flying like that? Are you claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant? Flying over a bridge that was engulfed in flames. Yep, that's what I saw. No court of law will ever acknowledge that people can... Well, actually, funnily enough, the last time Franziska was here, Judge, we had a real doozy of a case. Actually, there's some No! No, don't mention it! Don't do it! No! Accessory to foolishness, Miles Edgeworth. Thank God she's not dwelling on the last case. So I was going to have a heart attack if we had to study big top shit again. I saw Iris flying. Okay, wait, but we know somehow he's able to specify the hood. The hood's literally not in the drawing, by the way. Like, you can't see the white hood. It's all on fire. But the person who flew over the bridge could not have been the defendant, Iris. What do you mean? I don't understand. A foolhardy folly of a foolish statement by an equally foolishly foolhardy fool. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift. Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took flight. Why? Why did Nick have Iris's hood? What? Edgy, what's going on with Iris and Nick? Why you Nick, you dog? Oh, okay, alright. When I reached Dusky Bridge, she was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. That led me to find a beautiful crystal sphere. Half buried in the snow. Okay, so... Oh, that's got blood in it. Okay, so that's the one from the staff. I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one could have lost a crystal sphere that night. You see, around here somewhere. Looks about right. Okay, was the victim here? Found half covered in snow near Dusky Bridge. The night of the crime has blood on it. You ready, Edgy? By tomorrow morning you'll be calling me Master Larry. Yeah, I like the sound of that. No one's gonna push me around anymore. Larry, that night, there was someone who lost a crystal sphere. This is the victim's staff, found at the scene of the crime. Ah, the crystal sphere. It's gone. That means the one who flew and dropped the sphere was the victim, Miss Elise Stoneham. This is nothing more than a red herring. You honestly believe that? Give it some thought, and I'm sure you realize it as well, Miles Edgeworth. Elise Stoneham was in her room on the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go to Dusky Bridge. She makes a valid point. There is no evidence that Elise Stoneham left Hazukura Temple that night. However, if somehow this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed, then this case is going to transform into something else entirely. Can I prove it? That isn't the issue. To simply prove it, that's the only option. That's what he'd do. That's the way Phoenix Wright would do this. Oh, because it's half covered. And we're back on how it's like stopped snowing at that point in time. On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge. And there, something occurred that caused the staff's crystal, the sphere, to come loose. What could have that been? This sphere. There is some blood in it, isn't there? Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge. Only a fool would suggest such a foolish piece of absolute foolishness. Just who is the fool? And which part is so foolish, Miss Von Karma? Elise Stoneham's body was found in Hazukura Temple. On foot it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazukura Temple. You mean to suggest someone carried the body all that way? The snowmobile. Ah. As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon, but it could have also been used to carry a body. Order, order! Yeah! This is completely unacceptable, Miles Edgeworth. You've dug yourself into your own grave. The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defendant. She's the only one who could have moved the body. Doesn't that put the final nail in your coffin? Huh. You're too late, Franziska Von Karma. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. We have shown that this case requires further investigation. What? This witness certainly sits on one of the lowest possible branches of humanity. However, he would never utter a lie that could hurt a girl with whom he is enamored. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point. Edgy, thank you. I think such a terrible witness. You are an affront to all the legal system stands for. I demand satisfaction. You foolish fool. He's dead. He's gone. I'm counting on thorough investigations by both the defense and the prosecution. And with this, the rest is up to you. Right. I'm still up at this hour, reading through the trial record of a certain case. It's the first case my mentor, Mia Fey, had ever handled in a court of law. The horrifying truth that I refuse to accept is holding me hostage here within its pages. Dahlia Hawthorne. What I have read, I don't want to believe. I have to meet with the most ill-tempered witness imaginable. What, Larry? But I know that he will be able to help. He will be able to help me with him, somehow. Right. Are you sure you're well enough to be doing this? He's up? That was a quick recovery. Cough. Oh no, Phoenix. Actually, I was thinking about paying the old precinct a little visit. There's something I want to look into. And that is our client's background, naturally. I have the feeling that we've met before. All I want is confirmation, one way or the other. And since I probably won't be getting that from you, I'm sorry, Edgeworth. I bid you adieu, right? Take care. Edgeworth fucking MVP. Guess I should get moving too. Why, do you need to be somewhere? Yeah, I've got to get to work on this bridge, pal. I'm rigging something up so we can get across to the other side. That's right, Maya is still stuck over at the inner temple. But don't you worry, pal. As soon as it's all set, you'll be the first to know. Thank you, Gumshoe. Oh, he's coughing. Phoenix, please. Come on, please. It's for art's sake, I swear. Only one guy I know can be this persistent and high-strung. I'm talking about the heroine here, the heroine in my book. It'll make you famous. Ah. Enough. A fool's fool, a fool's fool, fools, who foolishly accepts the foolishness of a fool's fool. Does this grammatically make sense? A fool's fool, fool's fools. Yes, it does. Okay. Well done there. Wait a second. I know you. You're, ow. Your reflexes and mine need to shape up. My brain's frying like a sunny side up, and you want to grill me over a name. Francie, you can't do that. Even as we speak, Nick's on the brink of death, or so I'm told. Whip a dead horse. Isn't that one of your American sayings? It's always weird when they remind you that, yep, this is America. This is an ancient American temple here on the mountains. I don't care what anyone says, I'm telling the truth. I saw what I saw. She flew, I'm telling you, whoosh, just like that dude with the red underwear. Oh, Superman, sorry. Don't think I'm gonna forgive you guys when you come crawling back to apologize. It's amazing how little has changed with you in the past year, Phoenix Wright. What were you thinking of? I thought there was some character that we just somehow forgot in this case. I don't remember anyone in this trial being, like, clad in red underwear. Have you been in Germany all this time? That's right. Extending my perfect win record. Naturally. Oh, joy. Sounds like she hasn't changed a bit. Nor should she, Phoenix. I expect nothing less of my child than to be perfect in my stead. Franziska was born and raised in Germany and became a prosecutor at the age of 13. Her father was the legendary prosecutor Manfred von Karma. I had a perfect win record for 40 long years. Oh, but now he's gone from this world. Oh, he got the death penalty. But even though I may be dead, my spirit lives on. That foolish fool, doing such a foolish favor for such a foolishly foolish fool. Edward, make no mistake, Phoenix Wright. I came here for one thing, and one thing only, to pulverize you. Like I thought you were here to bring me some Cold Killer X, you know. It's not Dahlia here. Hi, Mamai. I didn't know you were here. How you doing? Waha, waha ha ha ha. I only just realized just when she laughed just how... Look at her cheeks go. The animation there. I suppose I've made a terrible mess of things, haven't I? I let Mystic Elise die, and then there's Iris as well. Mystic Elise. I think about it, Eagle Mountain has always been prone to earthquakes, just so you know. Earthquakes? Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if the next big one levels the train and all. Got to get Maya out of here fast. But still, there's really no need to worry. That area on the other side of Dusky Bridge is isolated like an island. It's like an island, how so? Well, the only thing on that side of the bridge is the inner temple. No one lives out there, and surrounded on all sides by the river or the forest. I see. So a criminal will be trapped should they choose to flee in that direction. And as long as the bridge is out of commission, he or she will have to stay there. That means Maya could be stuck out there with a murderer, with no way of escape either. Oh dear, yes I suppose it does. Please Gumshoe, get that bridge up faster. Notice you always refer to Miss Stoneham as Mystic Elise. Oh! Yes, now, why is that? After all, she's not here as an acolyte. We address all our visitors as Mystic. It makes their experience feel authentic. And anyway, she's older than me. You must respect your elders, you know. How do you know that? How can you say for sure that she's older than you? Oh, that's quite menacing with the Cyclops on her. Jesus Christ! Detective, have you finished the bridge? Yeah, I did. Told you I'll let you know. Oh, well, then I'll come along with you and... Sorry, ma'am. No unauthorized entry. Access is restricted to people involved in the case. What was that? I'm involved, aren't I? You couldn't get much more involved than me. Well, yeah, but that's not what I mean. Franziska is here. It's been a while, Scruffy. It's Miss Von Karma. Sister, please leave the investigation to me. Oh, am I? Well, you certainly seem to have everything under control. Oh, Mr. Nick. That voice. She's okay. Pearls. Mr. Nick. Mr. Nick. I was so lonely. I thought I was going to die. But I woke up in the morning and saw that Dusky Bridge was gone. I realized I was all alone. It was all alone. Oh shit, where did Maya go? I am Franziska von Karma, the prodigy. There's no reason to worry now that I'm here. You're the prosecutor who was so mean to Mystic Maya last year. Well, I don't like you. You're nothing but a little girl without your whip. Oh shit. Mystic Maya didn't do anything wrong, but you were so mean. I'll never forgive you. Oh shit, I think a fight's about to break up. I think Pearl's taking no prisoners. Oh shit. I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Huh? What are you talking about, Pearls? Mystic Maya. Hey, wait, Pearls. That was cruel, Phoenix Wright. To make a little girl cry like that is inexcusable. What was that all about? Pearl's acting like that. It's giving me the creeps. Guess I better take another look around since I finally got a chance. Especially since something about this place seems different from 2 days ago. Oh no, I just realized there's a furnace. We're gonna have evidence burnt again. There's a weird smell coming from that incinerator. There's been an incinerator every game without fail. Oh. There was snow on this incinerator the first time I saw it. Was there a cord attached to that? Did you see that in the flashback? It's not there now. Okay, that's not normal. She spilt mustard. Maya, she was supposed to be in her training. Yet it appears she's nowhere to be seen. This door. When I was here 2 days ago, that weird lock wasn't on it. Those chains. It's almost as if they're guarding something inside that cavern. I've never seen a lock quite like this before. What do you think this yellowish poster is, Phoenix Wright? It's a scroll, not a poster. A picture of a woman who's actually a woman. I don't see any woman here. There's a different atmosphere in this room since the last time I was here. No, it's not a different atmosphere. It's a different smell. It's gravy. Oh, she's such a messy eater. This scroll has been completely covered in gravy. Ah, yes. There's a very appetizing smell in the air. But gravy is a type of sauce. So when you run out of paint, you Americans use gravy as a substitute, I see. No, no one does that. For starters, it stinks. What took you so long? Oh, shit. I thought even you'd manage to get here faster than this, Mr. Trite. Prosecutor Gatto, I didn't know you were here. Prosecutor, how come you didn't show up at the trial today? Ha, I could ask you the exact same question. Huh? But I have a cold, so I had something slightly more important than a common cold to deal with. The importance of which is something you have no hope of ever understanding. Enough. I believe I have the measure of you. You're the very worst kind of prosecutor. What could be more important than a trial? It was the wild mare Trite. This is Miss Von Karma. She was the acting prosecutor in your absence today. Ha! Well, I guess I owe you one then. You can go now, princess. It's time for the big boy. Oh, I don't like that. Okay. Gatto, please. Just who do you think you are? This case is my... Hey, Philly. Know your role and shut your mouth. I can't stand women like... Uh-oh. Gatto did it. Gatto's the killer. There's something different about Gatto today. He's... based on the last 2 minutes. He's an asshole today. You see, Trite. I've experienced something most have not. Death. You died. Oh yeah, because we know now that he was Armando before. Yeah, so something happened there. The meticulous regeneration and adjustment of all your internal organs is... well, let's just say modern medicine allows us all to live to a ripe old age. Even someone like me. So you mean that mask you wear is... this ugly device? I promise it's not a fashion statement, my unenlightened friend. Without this, I can't see your frequently dumbfounded face. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Still, I keep this worn-out piece of junk of a body going with regular servicing. I'm sorry, but you say you experienced death. How is that possible? What happened? I think I do know about how Gatto was killed. Will all become clear in due time. Isn't that right, Trite? As leader of the search party, I can tell you this with absolute certainty. Maya Fey is not on this side of Dusky Bridge. Huh? Well, that's impossible. She came here that night and... I won't say it again. The chances of her being here are nil. Excluding, of course, one very unique place. One, where is that? The Sacred Cavern, the entrance of which we are standing at right now. This is the only place that the search party has yet to explore. But I haven't searched the cavern yet, huh? Be aware, though, that the temperature inside frequently falls below freezing. Even if she were in there, the chances of her being found alive are slim at best. Oh no. Well tried. Once again, a woman dies because of you. Once again? Is he claiming that Mia died because of me? And you know who that was? It was Maya Fey's sister. That's right, Mia Fey. Mia! You killed her. No, that's not how it was. She bit off more than she could chew. She made a very dangerous enemy. That's one case I'll never forget. But I got that guy, personally. Sure, Miss Fey's murderer was caught. That won't bring her back. Well, no, but you were with her at the time. You and no one else. It was your responsibility. You should have protected her. You can't really blame Phoenix for that. I don't think that's how it works. Yeah. Listen up, Trite. There's only one thing I want to say to you before I go. I'll never accept you. Never. Well, see you later. It's gonna be awkward in work tomorrow. I don't know, should I or shouldn't I? Sounds like someone's talking to himself, but where's that coming from? Yeah, I guess I better wash that off. That's what I'll do. No, but I can't do that. I'm a detective. Ah, my brain. This is driving me nuts. Ah! There's something troubling you, Scruffy. You can't go through that little gate there, okay? You mean the one that says no entry on it? I'm not telling you. I'm asking you, pal. You got me? Isn't it normally the other way around? I really want to know what Gumshoe was thinking of washing off. Like, is Gumshoe hiding evidence? Oh, no. What's that strange writing on the stone lantern? Ah! What are you doing here, sir? I thought I said you can't come in here. Gumshoe, what are you hiding? There's a charm or something poking out from the snow. Looks pretty old. There's a leather cord tied to it, too. Apparently, it belonged to the victim. The Miss Elise Donham. Yeah, there was a broken leather cord around the lady's neck. The ends of the cords found and bolted the victim on this charm match exactly. Terrain Master's Talisman. Worn by Elise Donham. Is she Misty Faye? Oh. Oh, that's a link. Well, this is odd. There's no snow on the ground here. And it's almost perfect rectangle. Couldn't have happened naturally. Yes, it appears as though someone has carefully cleared away the snow. There is straight up a lot of blood here. What the heck is that? Uh-oh. You spotted it, huh, pal? Are you kidding me? It couldn't be more obvious. It says, Maya. Yeah, before you ask, it's written in blood. You will answer all our questions now, Scruffy. Without exception. Yes, sir. Maya. But these letters are written in blood. Yeah, what's worse, it's the victim's blood. Huh? This is Miss Donham's blood. We haven't done a detailed analysis yet, but it's looking that way, pal. It seems pretty likely that this garden was the scene of Miss Elise Donham's murder. At least, that's our current theory on how the events took place, pal. What? This really was the scene of the crime. And I need to figure out exactly what it was that Bikini actually saw. Mr. Wright. No, don't they have to detain the suspect? Why is Iris here? Mr. Edgeworth, can we finish our conversation later? Alright. Let's hurry to the inner sanctum, inner temple then. I'll see you later, Wright. Wait, Edgeworth, I'm coming with you guys. Sorry, Wright. I can't allow you to come with us. What? I hate to be the one to break it to you, but Maya Fey is in a rather delicate position. What do you mean by a delicate position? This isn't simply a rescue operation, Wright. It's also an investigation. That being the case, we can't allow any members of the public to interfere. Come on, Edgeworth. If anything happens, you'll be the first to know. Please understand, Wright. From now on, consider anything beyond Dusky Bridge to be off limits. We'll be going now. Excuse us. What? Did Edgeworth fucking do the murder? I'm convinced that Miss Elise Donham had a special significance to this temple. As to why she had a special significance, I believe it has to do with her true identity. What on earth are you talking about? She was... Mr. Khalees was an author. Just an author of picture books. Miss Donham had this charm with her at all times. Ah! Where did you... This isn't some cheap good luck charm either. The painting is obscured by the gravy stain at the moment, but this scroll shows the master of the Karain channeling technique. The crest at the top is a sign of that honorable title. The very same crest that adorns the talisman the victim carried with her. Ah! This crest is reserved for the master of Karain. Who on earth told you that nonsense? I've got no idea what you're talking about. The new master, Maya Fey, told me. What? What? You mean that acolyte is Misty Faye's daughter? Yes. Are you sure? Yes, in fact, since her eldest daughter passed away, Maya is Misty Faye's sole successor. Mystic Misty! Oh, there we go. Okay. Mystic Elise graced her with her presence about a week ago, when she showed me the talisman with that mark in it. Well, I nearly fainted. No one had seen her since she disappeared 17 years ago, after all. It is Misty Faye! Tell me, sister. After 17 years, why did she choose to show herself now? Because something happened that called her out of hiding? What happened? Well... What's happening? Oh, there's an earthquake. It can't be. Earthquake! Oh my goodness, the inner temple! This kind of tremor might... The inner temple. The sacred cavern in the training hall. It might very well cave in. What? Maya! Just had an earthquake. And it would just so happen that Miles was in the elevator shaft for the cavern. Oh, Carmen, no! Not again! The defendant, Iris, she's gone. Gone where? She fled. She escaped. What? I should have known better than to escort the defendant alone. As soon as the ground started shaking, everything went dark before my eyes and I stupidly passed out. That incident haunts you to this day, doesn't it? Right, the inner temple area is a dead end, so she could have only escaped to this side. Wait, Edward. You thoroughly checked the inner temple yet? Don't be ridiculous. Why would I? Iris isn't the type of person to run away, Edward. What are you talking about? Sister Bikini mentioned something when we were with her. She said that the sacred cavern might have caved in because of the quake. Then do you think Iris might have gone to the inner temple to check on the situation? Let's not waste any more time. We need to get to the train hall's sacred cavern now. Alright, let's go. Fortunately, the sacred cavern hadn't caved in. But what we found was something none of us could ever expect. Wait, what? What? Even more locks. What is the meaning of this? Iris. Iris, please tell me. What the hell is going on? There's more locks. The temple is the killer. Miles, Edward, go and get some air. I'll watch over the suspect. You go and get a grip on yourself. Don't be ridiculous. I'm perfectly... That's called the kind and caring whip there. You know, it's not always abuse. These trick locks are a sacred treasure of the Korean tradition. There are hundreds of ways to set them. That's why only the person who set the lock can open it. And you aren't the one who set these locks. I don't think it's that simple, Franziska von Karma. When we were here the first time, there was only one lock. But now, somehow, there's 5 of them. It means that someone wanted to secure the place even more. And they want to secure it before you got here, Iris. Presumably because they wanted to make sure Maya couldn't get out. It means that Iris can only open one of the locks, the first one. Yes, that's correct. I suppose if I went through every combination with each one, I could remove them. But it will take time, won't it? Yes, about a day, if I had to guess. A whole day? Well, that's better than leaving the locks in place. Will you do this for us? Question. If the cavern is still standing after a full-scale earthquake, surely we could just get a bolt cutter. That's gonna be less impact than an actual earthquake that just happened. Iris, on the night of the murder, where were you? Please, Iris, don't give me that look. Here's the locks again. I knew it. There's something going on here that we don't know about. You need to obtain Dawn Tigre's profile and present it to her to prove her true identity. Oh, okay, thank you. That makes sense, though. 17 years ago, we were little school kids at the same elementary school. Edward found himself in the middle of a murder. It all started with that big quake that hit the courthouse. Oh no, not again! Yes, I was stuck in an elevator with my father, who was a defense attorney. We were deprived of oxygen and we passed out. That's when it happened. That single gunshot shattered my whole life. I lost everything that day, all because of that earthquake. My dreams, my family, and myself. Come now, edgy boy. It was a little more than just an earthquake that took away your life. Give me the credit I deserve. For you see, Edward, it was I that ruined your upbringing. Von Karma! Phoenix wouldn't have become a lawyer if Gregory Edward just took the fucking stairs. This entire tragedy could have been prevented. Lazy ass Gregory here. He only had to go down a floor in the courthouse too. Some simple cardio could have saved Gregory's life. There was something that bothered me about her from the moment we met. I felt like I've seen her somewhere before. No, wait. Not somewhere. I felt like I've seen her in court before, and I was right. I had seen her face before, 6 years ago. 6 years ago. It was my first appearance in court. And as cases go, it was my worst nightmare. So, who is she? I'm sorry, right? I can't give that information away to a member of the general public. What? Why not? It might be the crucial piece of the puzzle that solves this case. The woman I knew was the daughter of a jewelry store owner. She had nothing to do with Iris and Hazakura Temple. And neither did the case. No, that woman is completely unrelated to this murder. Unrelated? Yes, I can say that with complete confidence. Okay, so it's not Dahlia. But actually, no, she's still related. She's still related to the murder. It happened very near here. It is quite related. Oh, Mr. Nick. Pearls, what are you doing here? Nothing. What about Mystic Maya? Is she alright? Well, she's locked inside a cave that's going to collapse any moment, Pearls. There's extra padlocks on the door, which means that chance of escape is less than likely. She probably ran out of food at least a day ago. And for all we know, the murderer killed her when she was in there. Oh, I see. Pearls. Yes, Mr. Nick? I've been meaning to ask you about the night of the murder. Where were you, and what exactly were you doing when it all happened? I was just, well... Don't tell me Pearl's gonna have the fucking psych locks. You were supposed to be in Miss Donham's room, reading a book together. But Miss Donham was murdered, and you, Pearls, were at the Inner Temple. Yeah. So what exactly happened that night, Pearls? I'm really sorry, Mr. Nick. No! Jesus Christ, Pearls! I've been a bad girl. That's why I'm being punished. What are you talking about, Pearls? My spiritual power, it has disappeared. What? Her powers have disappeared? Pearls, did you try to channel someone's spirit right here at Hazakura Temple? Tried but failed, perhaps. Way to go, Nick. You made her cry. Well, Pearls, I know you're busy crying, but I've got stuff to do. I'll see you later. Let me know how you get on. Oh, yes. We were in the middle of a chat, weren't we? Yes, you were telling me how the Master Karain disappeared 17 years ago. I want to know why Mystic Fae suddenly appeared at this temple. It was about a week ago, when Mystic Elise... No, I mean Mystic Misty arrived. After she showed me the talisman that proved she was the Master, she said, someone is trying to destroy the Karain tradition's main family line. I'm here to put a stop to them. Someone is trying to destroy the main family line. There's only one heir to the title of Master at any time, and it's usually the eldest. That child becomes the new Master of Karain, and her daughters, the main family. All other mediums become branch family members, with no hope of controlling the clan. That's why nothing has changed throughout the history of the clan. Oh god, what was the name of your woman? Because we've had actually a motivation for something like this before. The previous murder at the Karain Channeling School was because Pearl's aunt, was it? Morgan. Yeah, Morgan Faye wanted to basically lock Maya away so that Pearls would become the de facto leader of the Karain Channeling technique. As far as I know, she's still in prison, though. Yeah, she has a real motive to threaten the Fae line. And she's actually done that before. But, like, it's only been like a year. I doubt she was just in prison for a year. People don't believe in it anymore, you see. All because of one little mistake. A mistake? What mistake? Oh, it's DL6 again. It all comes back to this one case. It was 17 years ago. That's when everything came crashing down. All because of that incident. That incident, is she talking about what I think she is? It was called the DL6 incident. That's the name of the file. Yes, for you see, Phoenix. You can never escape my clutches. Everything that has happened to you and your friends. I am the sole cause of all of your misery. Von Karma. It all comes back to him, even now. Even when he's dead. He set it all in motion. It was the first time in the country's history the police ever used a spirit medium. The idea was to channel the victim's spirit, to learn the identity of the murderer. And the medium performed the channeling was Mystic Fae, Maya's mother. Mystic Misty's channeling, the name of a certain man surfaced. Armed with that as evidence, the investigators were spurred into action. But that man, he was found not guilty, wasn't he? That's right, he was. And that case remained a mystery. It was all over the media, the public, the judiciary, the people of Karain Village. Everyone judged her. Everyone said Mystic Misty's powers were a sham. And then she just disappeared, vanished, while everyone still thought of her as a fraud. I know the truth. Misty Fae's spirit channel wasn't a sham at all. Of course it wasn't. And since you managed to reveal the truth, we're finally making a comeback. The Karain tradition is starting to recover at last, with a new master wielding the power of the clan. Does she mean Maya? The Bikini I was about to say the Bikini family's bloodline. That's a different family. The main family's bloodline stems directly from Mystic Amy. With each new generation, only one daughter becomes the new master. And the ones who don't become branch families, right? That's right. And it's always the cause of tragedy. You know, Maya had a sister too. An older sister named Mia. Oh yes, I've heard of her. What? You know about Mia? Of course. She became a lawyer in the hopes of discovering what happened to her mother and lost her life as a result. She also didn't want to fight with her sister over the leadership of the tradition. Really? Well, she saw what happened to her own mother, Mystic Misty, as she grew up. I guess Mystic Mia got tired of seeing all the rivalry between her mom and her aunt. That's right. Misty Faye had an elder sister, too. Mystic Misty's sister is Mystic Morgan, as you probably know. So it is coming back. Morgan, there's a name I know well. What she did was terrible. It was also she could make her own daughter the next master. I suppose if you know about Mystic Morgan's daughter, then you must have already realized that Iris... Huh? Iris? What's Iris got to do with any of this? That Iris is... Mystic Morgan's daughter. Really? Complicated family tree time? Yeah, I kind of feel like I want to almost map it out. Whoops, I thought you already knew. It sounded like you'd met one of Mystic Morgan's daughters already. I have. I know her very well. Oh! Yes, Pearls. Pearl Faye. But I always thought she was an only child. You jest? That child? She's Mystic Morgan's. I had no idea. Pearl might not have known. Mystic Morgan. She's in prison now, isn't she? Yes. Ever since she was found to be a co-conspirator in a murder case last year. It was all done to set Pearls up as the next master. I see. So I've been wrong all this time. Mystic Morgan had 3 daughters, not 2. Wait, what? 3? Yes, Iris, her twin sister. Here we fucking go. Okay. Right. Fucking called it. After the clan leadership was taken from her by her sister, Mystic Morgan's life crumbled. It wasn't many years later that Karain's reputation hit an all-time low. When Mystic Morgan's husband realized his wife would never become the master, he left her in the village, taking her twin daughters with him. He was a jeweler, you know. In the end, he remarried, and that's when it happened. He decided to give one of his girls up, to be looked after by us here at the temple. That was Iris, you see. Unbelievable. If Iris is a twin sister, could it be? Could you tell me one more thing, Sister Bikini? What was the name of Iris' sister? I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I just can't remember. All I can recall is that her father was a jeweler. Well, that's a clue, I guess. A jeweler. Iris is a twin sister. I wonder who that silhouette is of. Wait a minute. That's not her sister. That's Don Tigray in disguise. So what are you up to, detective? I'm investigating, pal. I made a promise to Mr. Edgeworth. I promised I would find the real murder weapon. The real murder weapon. That barbed sword thing turned out to be a false lead, right? I'm giving it my best shot here, but I still haven't turned up any clues. I just found these weird scraps of paper. It looks like a letter or something. It doesn't seem to have anything to do with the case, though. A letter? Yeah, it was in that incinerator right outside the inner temple. The incinerator. I knew it. I knew I wasn't imagining it. It had been used. Which means someone used the incinerator on the night of the murder. What's up with you, pal? I've got it right here if you want to take a look. Can I? Do you mind? Sure, go nuts. I don't want it, pal. You can have it. It's all spirit mediums and masters and stuff. Bed's got no relation to the case. Be careful. Once night falls, Blank should be there. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Leave everything up to her. Her name is... She is our Al, the whole. Here's a picture of her. Use it when you channel her. I know you can do it. Once this is, burn the... Also, make tell anyone about this letter. Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. That was the book that she was reading. Yeah, Gravely Roast. Why was she showing Pearls that book? How do you spell vengeance? How do you spell Hades? God, the last time we had 3 pages or something like this, by the way. Can you tell me which page of the document you're referring to? I swear to God, if we were in court, it's like, which of the burnt letters was it? Can you be specific? What's the perfect tool for the job? If the bullet is lodged in someone's shoulder. Oh, I hope to God the final bit of the entire case is just solved with the metal detector. Please. Please. My God. Looks like there's something round buried in the ground here. Don't touch that, pal. Huh? What is it? It's a trap. People set them out to catch us detectives. They're real nasty. A trap for detectives. You mean like those fierce traps with sharp teeth that are supposed to snag your leg? Yeah, those. I got my finger caught in one of those. Your finger? There's this bit of cheese, and it looks so tasty. I reached out and then, bam. I'm not sure I know how to respond to a story as stupidly pitiful as that. What? So we're just supposed to accept there's like a full-on fucking bear trap just sitting there? Just the size of that. That's not a mouse trap. Holy shit, no wonder someone died here. It's Miss Stonham's staff, isn't it? Scientifically speaking, they're usually made of wood. The detector is reacting to it. It's weird that this thing is causing a racket. Here, let me take a look at it. Hey, hands off. Examining evidence is a job for the... The top is coming off. Look what you've done. You've damaged a really important piece of evidence. Okay, there we go. A sword. Inside the staff. Could it be the murder weapon? The real scene of the crime was the inner temple garden. Then why was the sword used to kill the victim found in the main hall courtyard? Hey, Gumshoe, who knows about the hidden sword? No one. One thing though. The staff's secret trick. Let's keep it between you and me, alright? If it gets out that we knew about it and didn't say anything, we're finished. I understand. This is just a regular run-of-the-mill staff, you got it? Okay, now take good care of it, pal. Thank you, detective. Okay, that's gonna be important because someone else knows about that feature. Hey, Edward, check out this sword I found. Hey, Edward, did you know that Iris had a twin sister? What? A twin? You can't be serious. Sister Bikini told me, but the problem is she didn't know the name of this twin. There was nothing about Iris having a sister in the files I checked. Well, Iris was taken in by the temple when she was really young. Apparently her sister was raised by her father, a jeweler, I think. Jeweler? Right, I just might know who this twin sister of hers is. Let me guess. Her name is Dahlia Hawthorne, right? Yes, exactly. Please tell me what you know about her, Edward. Please. Dahlia and Terry Falls conspired together to stage a fake kidnapping 11 years ago. They stole a jewel worth $2 million from Dahlia's father, a jeweler, and 5 years after that, she murdered her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne, to keep her from talking. Valerie was the only daughter of Dahlia's father's second wife. Oh, like I said, Dahlia isn't connected with this case. Why are you so sure about that? It's simple. Dahlia Hawthorne is dead. It's been almost 5 years since that guilty verdict was handed down, and her sentence was finally carried out. She was executed. Last month. Oh shit. Do you understand now? You can't possibly be connected with this case. She's dead, and once someone is dead, there is no way to revive them. No way to revive the dead. I wonder. Seems not aware of one other connection yet, Edgeworth. Oh no, is it... If she's dead, did she come back through a spirit medium and do the killing? It's about Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne's mother. What's their mother got to do with any of this? She's Morgan Fay. Oh no, she's dead. That means Pearls can channel her. Oh no. Spirit medium from a branch of the family of the Karain channeling technique. Did you say Karain channeling technique? Do you know something about it? Oh yes. I know it's connected with that fraudulent spirit medium. Fraudulent? It all comes back to one man. Sister Bikini didn't just see you, she spoke with you. You two talked about Maya's training that night. So you see, Iris, you were there at the inner temple on the night of the murder. That's very impressive, Mr. Wright. The Acolyte's actual training was due to start after 10 o'clock that night. I left the main hall early, so I wouldn't be late. What time was that? Let me see. It takes about 20 minutes to walk between the main hall and the inner temple. So I would have left about 9:40 p.m., I think. I'm sorry, Iris, but lying just doesn't suit you. You yourself testified to the contrary, don't you remember? You said you rang the lights out bell at 10 o'clock that night. Oh yeah, no, that's probably better. Plus, only moments before you rang that bell, you were seen at the main hall by the most reliable witness I have. Who's that? Me. Mr. Wright. We even spoke a little that evening. That's when you gave me this. Surely you haven't forgotten. No, that's right. I remember. 10 o'clock on the night of the murder. You were seen in 2 different places at the same time. It's time you told me exactly what's been going on, Iris. You have a sister, don't you? A twin sister, perhaps. Ah. That's right. Dahlia Hawthorne, a woman I know only too well. But she's no longer. Yes, I know. Your sentence was carried out recently, wasn't it? I'm sorry. Thank you. There's no need to explain now, is there, Iris? The second you who was here at the temple on the night of the murder. It was your twin sister, Dahlia Hawthorne. This is a channeling dojo, a training ground for the Karain channeling technique. That night, someone channeled Dahlia's spirit, and you knew about it. And that's the secret you've been trying to hide from me. Oh, there comes the sudden wind, we got her. I was in my room on the main hall that night. As soon as I heard that I had been spotted at the inner temple, I knew it was my sister. Why didn't you tell me this before? Because my sister always does the right thing. Excuse me? Because I mustn't get in the way of what she's trying to do. I already betrayed her once before. I can't do it again. You betrayed her? What do you mean? That's why I have to accept I may be found guilty. It's the only way. What is she talking about? Iris, there's just one more thing I want you to tell me. What is it? During the incident in which your sister, Dahlia Hawthorne, poisoned a lawyer, she began a relationship with a certain college student in order to hide the evidence. That college student. Have you heard anything about him? Well, I did hear one thing. He said she hated his guts. Ooh, I see. Thank you for your help. You're welcome. After dinner on the night of the murder, you were supposed to be in Elise Donham's room, reading a book together, correct? Yes, I was so happy when she invited me. But I didn't go in the end. You didn't go? No, there was somewhere else I had to go instead. I was so worried I had to go. I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so nervous. On the night of the murder, you went to this place, didn't you? The Inner Temple. And the next question is, who or what were you worried about? Now I'm going to take a guess and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, okay? You mean you know? If I'm right, will you tell me the whole truth? Okay. You went to this place for one very simple reason, and that is this. Maya. It's obvious what you were so worried about, Pearls. It was Maya, wasn't it? Ah! I heard the real train was supposed to start at 10. I wanted to get there before it started. But there was so much snow, so I didn't get there until after 10 o'clock. Until after 10? How'd you know what time it was? Because I heard the bell ringing for lights out. Hazagura Temple's bell is pretty small though, isn't it? You must have really good hearing. I was really trying to pick up the sound of that bell, that's all. I think I know why. The reason you were so worried about that bell was because of this. Oh, did she find this? Did she find the letters? She did. Oh no, they were instructions for her. You were given some instructions to follow for that night, weren't you? Ah! Where did you... In the incinerator at the Inner Temple. Pearls. You were following the instructions in this letter that night, weren't you? That's why you couldn't afford to miss the sound of the lights out bell. I'm speechless, Mr. Nick. You're amazing. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, you must channel her spirit. Who was it, Pearls? Whose spirit were you supposed to be channeling? Taking into account the order of the note and their purpose for writing it. Whose spirit would Pearls have been trying to channel? It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? That was the name that was in the letter. Ah! Who wrote the set of instructions for you to follow? Pearls, I need you to commit a little murder here on the night. Pearls, you didn't have any idea what these instructions meant, did you? But you followed them to the letter regardless. Why? Because it was your own mother who asked you, that's why. How did you... I figured it out. The person who wrote you this letter was your own mother, Morgan Fay. Alright, Pearls. Bolt knows someone carried out these instructions on the night of the murder. But you're right. There's no evidence that proves it was you. I knew it. However, you do know that whoever did it was a child. Huh? How did you know that? Couldn't have been an adult. No adult would have made a simple mistake like that. Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. Gravy! It was you who splattered gravy on the hanging scroll, wasn't it? Gravely roast the master in the fires of Hades and bring our vengeance to fruition. But you didn't know how to read the words gravely and roast among others, right? How did you know that? Remember the conversation with Miss Donham on the night of the murder? So for example, how do you read this? Oh, Pearl brought the letter to her. Surely if she saw it, then she knew it was coming. Because, oh, that's a rather weird comment to gravely roast the master and bring revenge to fruition. I wonder why a small child has that. Oh yeah, my sister hates me. Gravely sounded like gravy to me. The only roast I could think of was the food. And that's why you did it. That's why you covered the picture of the master in gravy from that night's pot roast. To be honest, I did think it was a bit strange. Poor Pearl. She's only 7, like, it's a lot of pressure on her. Well, it was already way past 10 when I got there because of all the snow. I went to the Inner Temple guest area. The guest area? Yes, I thought I could wait there until training was over. Why didn't you just go to the training hall? Because Mystic Maya's main training had already started and I couldn't interrupt it. So I just stayed where I was and prayed for her to get through it. But then Pearls, did you fall asleep? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just couldn't help it. Hey, don't worry about it, Pearl. Who cares if you fell asleep? Oh, Larry's just here still, yeah. You channeled Dahlia Halter in spirit? No, I tried, but I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it? I've never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened. I tried and I tried and I tried. Yesterday, this morning, the whole time. But I just couldn't do it. Isn't there any other explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit? I suppose there's one other possibility. Not very likely, though. Could you please tell me what it is anyway? Could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit. Ooh, that would mean on the night of the murder, someone else channeled their spirit before Pearls could. Maya is missing. It makes sense if Maya did it. Misty Faye could have done it. Mother has gone to a place called a penitentiary. Yeah, I know, Pearls. I visit her every month. And last month she told me, the time we've been waiting for has come, Pearl. There's something I need you to do for me. I hid a letter for you at our home before they brought me here. I want you to read it. Do exactly what it says. It's for the good of the Fae clan, my angel. You'll be doing a great thing. Now listen carefully, and I'll teach you where the letter's hidden. She said it was for the good of the Fae clan, so I knew I had to help her. I mean, Mystic Maya's part of the Fae clan, so it had to be good for her too. That's right, isn't it, Mr. Nick? Sure. Something else that was strange about my mother's letter. The seal on it was broken, as if someone had already opened it once before. Sure is pretty strange. Larry! I don't think you're involved in this conversation, Larry. Thanks, Pearls, you really helped me out. You're very welcome. My mother is watching over us, so I'm sure Mystic Maya will be alright. That innocent smile on her face. What am I supposed to say to her? Ah. Oh shit! Tomorrow. We'll settle everything in court tomorrow. Once and for all. My dear Pearl. You've done so well, my child. My Pearl, I knew this day would come for you. The blood of the main family is no more. My last great wish. It seems I was just in time. Mr. Nick, please tell me what's going to happen to Mystic Maya. Don't worry, Pearls. She's already dead. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those trick locks in the training hall? No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the Inner Temple. Oh damn, we're really just leaving Maya to die. Dead. How come she's not here in the defendant's lobby? I have to admit, it's kind of strange. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Ed Jewert? What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony. You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession, or so I heard. Franziska von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Franziska isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? Then who is? Who else would it be but Gatto? Poor Franziska, she got robbed here. This is her case. She was brought on for it. Franziska is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern. The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's... Exactly. She's been out there all night, trying to remove those trick locks. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly, and we receive some good news soon. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Thanks. February 10th, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 7. Oh no, the judge is back. Did you think you could finish the game without me? Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple. Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Wait, it's the other judge's brother. Is this judge supposed to be Canadian as well? Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant? Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident. Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Donham? No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard, where I desecrated it. What? Witness! Are you Are you saying that you were an accomplice to the murder? Yes, that's correct. Well, shit. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Iris was covering for someone. Now I'm definitely up the creek without a paddle or a life jacket. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family. I'm sorry, but main family? Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself, if need be, to protect her. The daughter of the master of the Korean channeling technique. Mystic Maya Fey. I thought we could go a game without Maya being tried for murder. But as is tradition, here we are once again. I went to the inner temple that night and saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. Okay. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Wait a minute. What was this weapon? It was some kind of dagger. A dagger, huh? And Elise Donham tried to stab her with this weapon. To kill Miss Fey. Yes, exactly. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony. You do? But this witness is your own client. Yes, well, nevertheless. Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events. Huh? Miss Donham throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me. But all you can do with a staff is hit someone. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. There is something strange about this whole testimony. I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted, because Miss Elise Donham would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. Oh, it's her real identity. It's like, Elise Donham would never do this, because she's Elise Donham. Elise Donham would have never attacked Maya Fey. How can you be so sure? Because the victim's real name was not Elise Donham. Her real name was Misty Fey. Fey? No, not Misty Fey. Misty Fey is the master of the Korean channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey. Are you serious? Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Donham actually the great Mystic Misty? There's no doubt about it. It's like Iris had no idea. You think maybe my beans are under roasted. But you have no idea, Gramps. Could you get to your point? I heard this witness's confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 8 cup of morning coffee. Oh my god, got him. You're going to ruin your health, my friend! The detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty. Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing? Oh no. Obviously, Your Honor. Do you not notice something else? Now do you mention it? If you look closely, there appears to be blood on it. I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed in such short notice. In any case, the court will accept this dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I ordered that a blood test be performed on it immediately. Found behind a tree in the inner temple garden, the blood is being analyzed now. Okay, there's gonna be some kind of revelation around this. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one in the defensive, with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw? Yes, I'm almost certain. Almost. The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who. What'd you just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely. We know that Maya Fey was at the inner temple that night. And that the woman who was killed was Elise Donham. Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony? According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern. Correct? Yes, that's right. But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. Ah. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony. People are like books. We've all got a front and a back. You get my drift. Is that all you have to say? Yeah, everyone's just like, Gato, I really wish you'd stop speaking in riddles. We're all kind of sick of your bullshit. There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee. Mr. Gato, could you get to the fucking point, please? A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light. Light? By the way, did you know? I swear to God if you give me a fact about coffee. Asakura has a rule that on nights when an acolyte is at the inner temple training, we're in the clear, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern. Impossible? It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all. This lantern! There's something written on it! Why, it's written in blood! The judge didn't know about that yet. It says Maya upside down! What are you all talking about? What do you mean, what are we all talking about? Talking about the message written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle. Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Mr. Gato! Okay then. Let's move on. After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Kurain tradition. So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple, and I used the Shichishito to alter the way the wound looked. Okay, but this doesn't address the fact that the body was bruised. Yeah, I don't want to believe it, but I don't think my logic is failing me. Iris is trying to pin the murder on Maya. Why would she want to do that? There's only one reason I can think of. If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally you'd expect tracks. This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride? Yes, I think they are. But I can only see one set of tracks here. I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I last Hazakura Temple. How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony? Yeah, it's important. When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. Doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony. But does it have something to do with the case? No, just for funsies, Your Honor. What do you think? If the snow really had stopped by the time of the murder, it'd mean there's a bigger hole in her story than that movie, The Great Revelations? What? What's that supposed to be referencing? It's a reference to the Matrix? A weird bit of shade just to cast out in the blue? Oh, okay, alright. Claiming the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. I'm sorry, Iris, that just isn't possible. This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge that time. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and it caught on fire. What'd you say? The bridge. It was on fire. You don't mean to say you didn't know about it. It's because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down. What? But it can't be. That's right. The inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body. Kato's gonna come in as like, well, clearly she swung across like fucking Tarzan. Certainly was burned to a crisp, and one of the suspension wires even snapped. Amazing the whole bridge didn't fall apart. We spotted that snapped suspension wire earlier. By the time the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. If you insist on obsessing over that one statement, let's see the proof. Show some evidence that the body somehow crossed the bridge while it was on fire. Oh no, it's not gonna... Oh no. Oh no, we're not entertaining like the powers of flight again in this courtroom, are we? Oh no. No! Oh, here we fucking go. A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. The body flew, Your Honor. We're on like the receiving end. of Big Top at the moment. That night he was at the Mountain Shack, Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with the sketch? Upside down, why did Gatto say that? Wait, is the drawing fucking upside down? Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. The sketch drawn by Laurice Donham is evidence of nothing, a complete contradiction. Exactly what happened? Of course, the victim was flying through the air. You can see it right there in the sketch. Whoosh. You know, you're starting to remind me of yesterday's witness. What? That's the last thing I want to hear. Laurice Donham stated it over and over. This sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his okay, no, so Larry was upside down. Wait, so what exactly were you looking at? Body below the bridge kind of makes a bit more sense. These supports, I thought the supports for the bridge were on top of it. Okay, no, yeah, they are under it, right, okay. Yeah, I was just thinking of these ones here. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. On the actual Dusky Bridge. Jumping! Wait. Jehoshaphat? Bullabin backpacks! Radioactive, man! The correct way to view Laurice Donham's sketch is like this. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum, but... Oh no, they actually fucking Tarzan swung it across, did they? What? Why? They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And a pendulum was the only way to get it done. In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you'd have to plan ahead. They didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them. What? I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there. Wait, actually, okay, question actually, yeah. If the body swings across by a fucking rope, is the opposite cliff lower? It's not gonna make it up to the top. One of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste. So they tied the wire around Laurice Donham's body. Oh my... What? Because there was simply no other way to move the body. That was like barely held on. Like, this like 1 to 10 million odds or something. Like, Jesus. 2 things you have to accept for playing Phoenix Wright games. 1, that perjury doesn't exist. And 2, our entire fundamental understanding of physics. Oh, there he goes. He's chugging his coffee. Yeah, he's taking a lot of copium. He's gonna need it. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum? I don't know, Gatto. Let's have a look. Oh no, because the body fell. Oh, this is so fucking stupid. Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. What makes you think something like that happened? Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance. Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here her body fell about 10 feet after her death. 10 feet, huh? It's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to forward momentum, but then it came loose and fell about 10 feet. I think the real question of the physics here, right, is the specific knot you're gonna have to tie the body with to securely hold it at like this fastest point of the swing, and then to accurately let go of the body at the opposite end. Boy Scouts. And then as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. That's... Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off of Miss Laurice Donham's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found. Indeed, I believe it's already marked in this overhead map. The crystal was found. Ah! Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed. Wait! So she was flung over with her staff as well! Oh yeah, because the staff was still inside her this entire time. How was this tied? If the criminal had sent the body to the other side, like you say, then naturally, there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it. An accomplice? The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So, who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Trite? Iris claims she was at the temple. No, so Iris must have been at this side. No, but Iris was the one who tied it at the other end. It can only be you, Sister Iris. Huh? Ah, but I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Ridge is by snowmobile. With her bad back, Sister Bikini can never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it. Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in 2 different places at the same time. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Of course, she swung across as well. The body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with. You're saying this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple? Oh no, did Dahlia send her sister to die? Now I get it, now I know I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. Why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing there at the witness stand. Her real name is Don Tigre. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again. Let alone see you. It's been a long time. Dahlia Hawthorne. Hawthorne? Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month. So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom. What? You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions. Ah, what's this? These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple, as soon as you hear the lights out bell. In other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time. That means the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris. The Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne. Yes, it's true that you found plans that talk about it. However, there's only one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris after meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled. Would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far? Yes. After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. There they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center. So, like, there's no way that she was at the inner temple then. Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple. We just quickly save it here, Your Honor. Have there been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne? Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. Oh, explain yourself. Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown. Oh yeah, true. There was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised. Well, who was it? Who would give a murder suspect time to move about freely like that? I'm sorry, I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris the chance to freely move about was... Oh, I'm sorry, Edgeworth. I'm sorry. There was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not? An earthquake? There it goes. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge. That voice! Ha! So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh? Why should I? After all, I'm dead. The whole plan began with my death. A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own daughter as the next master. But for it to work, Maya Fay would first have to die. The idea was for me to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris. The plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway. Maya Fay is dead, and the title of the master will pass on to Pearl Fay. That's absurd. Maya is she's just trapped inside the sacred cavern. She's just buried alive. You're as foolishly optimistic as ever, aren't you? My darling Feeny. Oh shit. Okay, we need to just press everything. You were executed last month, correct? Oh, someone's gonna read over this court case in a few months and be like, what the fuck happened here? Yes, I was hanged. It wasn't exactly pleasant. When did you talk with Morgan Fay? Last year. She was transferred to the same detention center as me. since I was on death row and she was my mother. It was actually pretty easy to meet with her. I was to make Pearl Fay the master of Karain. She's a cold, twisted woman. She thought she could finally regain her lost honor. The honor she lost when her younger sister, Misty, took her place as the master. Ever since that day, she's been working on this plan. A plan, huh? For our bloodline to succeed as the main family, thus making Pearl the new master. The remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of. But Pearls would never agree to a plan like that. She adores Maya. How sad. You still don't get it, do you? What Pearl wanted had nothing to do with it. Morgan didn't care one bit about Pearl. The only thing she cared about was the position of the master. That's all. You may not understand it, being the kind and gentle soul that you are. You may not be able to appreciate why someone like me would help a woman like that. But then tell me why. Isn't it obvious? I'm not like that woman. I only act in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself. For my own personal satisfaction. What did you say? So this woman, Dahlia Hawthorne, she had her own reason for wanting Maya dead. I was sentenced to die because of that woman. Mia Fey. I somehow knew this was it. I wanted to send her a message. It was at her hands that I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted her to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up. And the reason it was impossible was it perhaps because Mia Fey had already died. Yes, and I realized there's only one way to take revenge against the dead. And how do you do that? Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. I want to take away the person that Mia Fey loved most. I want to kill her with my own hands. That would be the one and only way I could take my revenge against Mia Fey. That was the reason I helped out with that woman's plans. Just for that. For that you would kill Maya. Your goal is no different than that of Morgan Fey. As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. In summation. Judge, please. At about 9:30 p.m, I materialized into this world. I quickly pinned my hair up, put on a demon warden hood, and I picked up the staff that was by my side and left Hazakura Temple. So it was Elise Stoneham who had channeled her after all. Okay, yeah, like, Misty Fey must have caught on to protect Maya somehow. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern, and I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and... So then you're saying you stabbed Maya? Strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. What does that mean? No clear memory. Misty knew what Pearl was going to do, so to save Pearl from committing this atrocity, Misty channeled Dahlia instead. The reason she doesn't have memory is because this is the moment where Elise Stoneham basically died. Someone attacked her, but I don't know who this is at this point. I think I was stabbed. Yeah, she was stabbed in the back at the last minute. Maya Fey must have stabbed me. I'm sure of it. That's not like her at all. Maya wouldn't stab a French fry with a plastic fork. When I woke up after that, I was in the sacred cavern surrounded by darkness. You were in the sacred cavern? The entrance was sealed with one of those trick locks. Somehow I've been trapped in there. So Maya was channeling her then? How'd you wind up in there? I'd like to know that myself. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know whether or not Maya Fey was dead. And I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld till I knew I had killed her myself. I think Misty Fey channeled Dahlia to basically keep her contained to save Pearls, right? Now, after basically Misty Fey was basically killed by a third party, it would seem, Maya then had to channel Dahlia to contain her to also save Pearls. So the question is, who is the third party at this point? Because there's someone else. And why is it Furio Tigre? After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself. The real Iris. She said she'd come to make sure the sacred cavern was alright. Stupid girl. Came out from the sacred cavern and got a feel for the situation, and I locked her away in my place. I finally learned exactly what had happened. It was then that I learned that the plan had actually succeeded. What do you mean by your plan has succeeded? I misunderstood one thing, you see. That night, the one that had summoned me, I'd assumed that it was Pearl Fey. The person that had actually called my spirit back was... Misty Fey. Maya Fey. I wasn't able to kill her with my own two hands, my own hands after all. But even so, I made her commit the most vile sin a human can commit. And that is... matricide. The sin of killing her own mother. No way. Oh! Sorry, let me put that on silent and continue to my existential despair. Oops. Sorry, that's my phone. What kind of ringtone is that? Okay, thanks. Was it something important? They just finished removing the locks from the sacred cavern. That's great. What about Maya? There was a woman in the cave. Was it Maya Fey? It was the accused, Sister Iris. Oh shit, yeah, so, okay, so Maya did channel Dahlia's spirit. That's Maya on the stand right now. Don't look so surprised. I locked her in there yesterday. Just finished telling you that. So, what about Maya? Where is she? I told you, didn't I? She's dead. No. No. No, Phoenix, she has to be channeling someone. It's Maya right there. Maya Fey threw herself into the Eagle River. However, is that really the truth? Remember, this woman testified earlier that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place in the garden, which means that Maya had thrown herself into the river. It must have been from the inner temple side, near the bridge. That's right, that's where she jumped from. But that's impossible. It's impossible to jump into the river from there. The rock! Wait, no. No, it's not the rock, sorry, I got excited. Yeah, it's, there's a bedrock? It's still rock. She wouldn't have reached the river if she had jumped off from there. Unless she used the pendulum swing to carry her to the river below. If she had jumped, we should be able to see her body in this photo. Now, although it seems improbable, there's still one other place she could be. What? What is this one possibility you were talking about? That's obviously a bluff. So where is her dead body then? Normally the living have no way to punish the dead. But I think there is a way to give Dahlia Hawthorne the ultimate punishment. Shall I tell you, Miss Hawthorne? Shall I tell you where Maya Fey is this very instant? Maya Fey is in this very courtroom. There's only one possibility left. Namely, she's right here in this very courtroom. What? Maya Fey is here? You say she's here in my courtroom? If you will look under your desk, Your Honor. She's been hiding the whole time. Tell me something. At this very moment, who is channeling Dahlia Hawthorne? By that's obvious. It's Pearl Fey. A pathetic little sniveling runt. You're wrong. Pearl's tried, but she couldn't do it. Pearl's even tried again the day after the crime. But she couldn't do it. What could that mean? I think the truth is becoming clearer to you right about now. Am I correct? It wasn't Pearls that channeled you. Come on already. I can't stand the tension. Dahlia Hawthorne. The person channeling you right now must be Maya Fey. What? Path back to Hazakura Temple. Hazakura was closed off and there was nowhere further run. So then the problem became, where would be the safest place to hide? You mean, that's when she channeled me. All this time you thought you'd been channeled by Pearls. That's why it never occurred to you that Maya's hiding place was you. No, don't say that. She could never have come up with a plan like that. Who could have ever given her such a brilliant idea? Well, what? Me, of course. Mia Fey. It's been a long time. Dahlia Hawthorne. What are you doing here? We've come a long way from the anime crime game to where there's now two spirits of the dead fighting each other in a courtroom. You had just cornered Maya in the Inner Temple's garden. And then, in the final moments of the fight, you lost consciousness. I was stabbed by Maya Fey. Actually, Maya lost consciousness at the same time as you. She did. When she woke up, she was in the training hall. That's when Maya decided she needed help, so she channeled me. She explained in a memo the situation she was in. She asked me what I thought she should do. I didn't have all the details, but one thing was perfectly clear. And that was! I knew that you couldn't be allowed to wander free. Free? What do you mean? It was a race against time, so I wrote down two things that Maya had to do. Channel Dahlia Hawthorne as soon as possible, and lock herself in the sacred cavern until help arrived. It was Maya who put that lock on there. If she hadn't done it, Dahlia Hawthorne would have been channeled by someone else. By one Pearl Fey. Yep, so this was all part of the plan to protect Pearl. Why not just admit it, Dahlia Hawthorne? Your little plan was nothing but a big failure. Yes, another failure to add to the pile of shame, wouldn't you say? What do you mean by another? Remember all your past crimes. Not a single one of them was a success. They all ended in failure. What? How dare you? After Terry Falls escaped and went to meet with Valerie Hawthorne, the truth was exposed. Shut your mouth. That wasn't my fault. It was because of that stupid oaf of a prisoner and that weakling of a policewoman. And then, 1 year later, you tried to kill me. Well, I'm still alive, but you wound up killing someone else. As a result, you were sentenced to death. You've messed up again. You let Maya Fey escape, even though she was right there in front of you. She's not taking it too well. Mia Fey, Mia Fey, Mia Fey. You spinster. Oh, come on, you can come up with a better insult than that. Whether you're alive, dead, or somewhere in between, you will never defeat me. As long as I'm around, you're destined to lose for all of eternity. Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on, forever. That's very true, Dahlia. And that's exactly the punishment you'll never be able to escape from. For all of eternity, you'll have to remain as Dahlia Hawthorne. A miserable, pathetic, weak creature who can never win at anything. And for you, there is no escape from that. No hope of freedom. Since the day you were executed, the narrow bridge that once stretched out in front of you has burnt to a crisp. Oh shit. How could I lose to the likes of you? Just take the loss, Dahlia. Case closed, Your Honor. The only thing I want is for you to come out of Maya's body right now. Oh, here she goes. Oh shit! I'm not ready. Not ready to go. Oh shit, I think she just got sent to hell. Never thought we'd destroy someone's soul in court. Oh, Maya's still dead. Everyone's just chatting. I was like, oh Jesus, what happened there? Now then, I assume you are the real Iris. Yes, I was just rescued from the sacred cavern. I must say, you and your twin sister are indeed identical from what I can see. In any case, it appears that everything has finally been cleared up. I've seen quite a few things in my many years on the bench. And in all that time, I finally learned this one thing. Each case is different, and takes place in its own world, if you will. That's why I brushed up on learning everything I need to know about the spirits of the damned. At any rate, it's time to pass judgment in the case of Iris, of Hazakura Temple.
Objection.
Here we go. Yeah, it's not over. Secret boss. Well, you beat the main campaign. Now there's an optional side trial. The person that was ultimately killed was the spirit medium that channeled Dahlia, Elise Donham, no, Misty Faye. But who killed her? We still don't know who did it. This isn't over. There's one person who saw the whole event and will put the final dagger in its place. Someone who saw the murder take place! The very person who saw her mother killed in front of her own eyes. You mean Maya? She can't testify after what she's just been through. The prosecution calls Maya Fey to the witness stand. God damn, Gato, give her a moment. Very well. But first, we'll take a brief recess. We'll have to wait for Miss Fey to recover before summoning her. On the night of the murder, the person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim, Elise Donham. Was it really you? Yes, it was me. That night, after I rang the lights out bell, I went back to my room. At around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone. There's a problem. Come to the inner temple right away. I got in the snowmobile and headed for the inner temple. But the path to the inner temple was cut off, right? Can't just leave the body here. So you've got to do this exactly as I say. Got it? There she goes. It was me. I was the one who received her body. The murder weapon had been left in her body so she wouldn't bleed too much. The staff that Mystic Elise always held. I knew it. The actual murder weapon was the staff. Yes, that's right. I brought the body back to Hazakura Temple in the snowmobile. Tell me the name of the person that called your cell phone. The real killer. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I can't do it. I can't say who did it. Okay, well, enjoy your prison sentence. I'm off. I'm gonna call it in early today, you know. I've had a good run here. The real killer. Do you know who it is yet? Iris wouldn't tell me who called her, but still. I think that just maybe. I know who it was. No one else makes sense. Gato was just kind of absent. Wait a minute. But if you take off that visor, that's not Gato. No, for you see, it wasn't Gato at all that masterminded this plan. Due to time constraints, a full test was impossible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood. That is all. Now let's restart this trial. So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. Witness, please tell us your name and profession. Maya Fey. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager at Wright & Co. Law Offices. You witnessed the moment of Miss Elise Donham's murder. Is this correct? I didn't see any... Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later. But Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. Jesus, God, give her some sympathy. Especially considering you probably killed her mother. You're the only one who fits the profile. I was passing through the garden on my way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me." Then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. Oh yeah, oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at. Ooh, okay. What did you just say? Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. Ah! What is it now? I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out. Huh? Witness! Are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker, there was another person! I am. Well, I meant to keep that part a secret. A man. Who was this man? Well, you see, I couldn't see. You couldn't see. She's used this excuse twice now. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker. And she quite clearly described him as a man. Ah. In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker. How could she have seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene. There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Gatto. Who's this person that you say Miss Faye saw in the darkness? This is gonna be a bit wild, Your Honor, but bear with me. Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible. What? But how do you propose to show us something like that? It's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night. Conditions? Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off. What? But it can't be. Ha. That was a nice bit of deduction. This is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder. Order! Order! Prosecutor Gatto, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it? Ha! If you've got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night? Was it 3 glowing red lights? You're wrong. I never saw that. Maya, I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man. For a totally different reason. What? This is an aside question. You think if like the battery charge in this runs low, like the lights go down, like kind of like your phone, like ew. It's canon now. When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. Torches were lit, and the body was gone. And all of the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. Hey, what? What's the logic there? Sorry? Doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Is it just because it took a lot of physical labor? Like the fucking Iris, like, took a body and, like, stabbed it with a massive fucking sword after a pendulum effect. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd. Oh? And what would that be? You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Gatto. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern? Ah! You're right! But it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow, then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing. I know it's like the bloody writing, but it's just like, oh, there's bloody writing there. Didn't move the bloody writing. Bloody hell. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred there. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it. But that doesn't make any sense. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that. You're right. There is no way any normal person would. What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing on the wall. Who's the person that could have failed to notice the bloody writing? Nonsense. This lantern is clean as a whistle. That's right. We went through this once before. During the poisoning case at Tribulations. Is something still bothering me, Mr. Gatto? Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court? Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a bloodstain. I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Gatto is the murderer. But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Your Honor, you said it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why didn't he just take out that area? Yes, why didn't he just take out that area? Could it be? Yes. The killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow. And so he had to remove all of the snow. Wait just a minute. Maya. What is it, witness? Mr. Gatto isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up. Hurley was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Gatto arrived at the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up. I'm terribly sorry. What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. What? Come on. Pearlie would never tell a lie. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be. Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath. Let's just move on to the cross-examination, if the defense has no objections. I mean, of course the prosecution believes it because it's helpful. We're getting away with it. He cheered her up. That's what Pearlie said. He said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Gatto. And here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict. I noticed that you weren't anywhere on the inner temple side, but couldn't find it in me to tell her that. So I gave her my last cup. With milk and sugar to hide the bitterness of the harsh truth. Can you give coffee to a kid? Pearls would have been absolutely wired. The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the train and all. Beauty? Misty Faye, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. Western tastes? Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy? Wait a sec. What did Gatto just say now? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any... Wait. The detail with the gravy is important? Oh shit, because if it's covered in gravy, he shouldn't have known that it was Misty Faye. There we go. Mr. Gatto, the first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the inner temple was long before the murder took place. Why do you say that? Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll on the train and all. Hanging scroll? But Mr. Gatto is right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother. Maya, I know you know who it is, but there's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired, 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this. What's that wonderfully delicious smell? Well, Mr. Gatto, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Faye. Wait a minute, Nick. Yes? Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look at the top. There's a crest there. I have that. It's the mark of the master, correct? Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark, you can guess it was a picture of Misty Faye on there. True, but Mr. Gatto described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. Oh, Mr. Gatto, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the inner temple long before the crime took place. This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed. That's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene. Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan? Maybe just the burnt letter that indicates that other people knew? This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay authored the plan for her daughter's future. And these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fey Manor for over a year. However, by the time little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Unsealed? Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple. If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. I mean, okay, we already know that's a lie. There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably. There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister. You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney. Wait a second here. Mr. Gatto is a defense attorney. Oh yeah, because of course that's illegal. That's the startling revelation here. Wait a minute. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right? All of this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court. The tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients. That pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. Oh, I just remembered! 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned! Even I didn't see it coming. My body shut down, and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all of my hair turned to white due to the damage it caused. That's terrible. And one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee. 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years! And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. The very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered. And the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death. The woman you loathed? The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee. Dahlia Hawthorne. There were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons I decided to become a prosecutor. If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live? The first was you, Tried. Huh? Me? I hadn't drank that stupid poison. Mia Fey never would have died, much less the way she did. I had a reason for living. She goes by the name of Maya Fey. Huh? You mean me? You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when Karain Village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her. That's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it. That makes sense. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices. Accomplices? Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Fey. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall of my backup plan, in case we couldn't control Pearl Fey. But how did you contact my mother? Even without her official position, Misty Fey was still wielded great influence. The police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor, no matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you. She was always... That's why. I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong and resolved to protect you was, look at her staff. Her staff? The one with the sword in it? That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan. You mean Pearls, don't you? We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne. As Master of Karain, Misty Fey's power was supreme. That's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Fey wouldn't be able to. The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only 2 possible suspects right now. Maya Fey And I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Grotto. I want to hear the truth from your own lips. I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick. Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness. Struck back. How do you know that? Well, you're right, I didn't see it exactly, but I could tell by the sounds of their breathing and movement, and also the smell of blood. You've witnessed more horror than any young lady should ever have to in one life. You've been at the center of like 15 murders at this point, Maya. The red lights were coming from Gatto's mask, and they went out right in the middle of a fight. Maybe the mask was damaged, or maybe it was knocked off. The scream that you heard then was a Dahlia Hawthorne. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice. What? Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it. And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh? After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me. This knife, the blood doesn't match the victim's. This is the knife Gatto was attacked with. Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this. And she managed to wound him as well. Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood in the dagger could have been from the victim. Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere. They learned from the best, Phoenix. They have concealed the wound. What will you do now without your precious metal detector? Oh, Carmen, no! Not again! A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Gatto, it would prove that it's your blood. I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation. Maya, this dagger, you said that it wounded the killer. That's right. But, if Mr. Gatto had really been cut with the dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right? How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Gatto of being the killer. Can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence? The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition. Just as you want. Ha! That's good. Fight it to the bitter end, Trite. Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we go for the ultimate penalty? Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Gatto? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need. Give me a break. You've got nothing, Trite. So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle. All right then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you've got. There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood in his dagger. But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he'd been cut by a dagger, there shouldn't be a blood stain on his clothing. There's one place the killer could have hidden his wound. What did you say? Hidden. This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there was no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound. It's the end of the line. The final stop, Trite. Let's hear what you've got. Where's this location where you say the killer hid his wound? Your Honor, it's underneath my badge, because this proves that I am a lawyer. Ha! I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, Trite? Well, looks like you've proven one thing. That you're nothing but a fake. Wait a minute, that's not Phoenix! That's Don Tigre! It was absolutely worth it. It was absolutely worth it. Underneath your mask. Ha! I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half... Wait! Isn't that right, Trite? Oh! What was that just now? Mia. It can't be. You're living on. Through him. Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. It's beneath your mask. During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Gatto, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved. Ah! I'm sorry, I was just waiting for my coffee. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was me. Yourself? I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit. But you saved Maya. Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now, anyway. What do you mean? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away. Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick? But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother, but I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. You know why? The real reason. No, why? I suppose. I wasn't really interested in saving you at all. Huh? I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me. You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya. That night, in the darkness of the garden, when I saw its silhouette. Part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Fey? Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off, as a true defender of the people. In that one moment, I understood everything. Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me. Thanks. Your wound, it's bleeding. Ha! Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. These must be my tears. You do well to remember this, Maya. The one time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. Defendant! Yes, Your Honor. Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body in the crime scene is a serious offense in itself. I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyway. Very well. Before I hand out my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say? Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. I want to apologize to you. Apologize to me? For what? For the case 5 years ago, of course. The two of you. You hardly knew each other. Huh? What do you mean? You and my sister. You only met twice. Oh shit! The first time you met was on that fateful day. Today she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed. No way, it can't be true. I mean, during our whole relationship, we were... For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister. It wasn't Dahlia. I hope one day you can forgive me. Beanie.
Wait a minute! That's not Iris! That's Don Tigre!
Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because of the police investigation and there's surveillance. You couldn't move about freely. So that's why you, my sister, from the beginning she was prepared for the worst. Prepared for the worst? She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice. I mean, she was ready to kill me, don't you? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confer with you. I think you must have noticed. Noticed what? My feelings for you. If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life or mine. Iris! After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed. I have something to say to you too. This is my badge, and it proves you really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believe in you. Thank you. How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. Don't you think so, Phoenix Wright? Wait, what? Yeah, I think you're right. Why have I got coffee? The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim, Lee Stoneham. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case. I understand, Your Honor. Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant. Court is now adjourned. Gatto's just like kind of running out of the court case. He's like, excuse me, Your Honor, I really need the bathroom. I'm gonna blow any moment. I've had way more than 17 cups. Ah, Gatto! Good to see you in the toilet with the toilet chums. Pull up a chair. Have a seat with us. I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant. But I couldn't save Mr. Armando, the man who cared so deeply for you. You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible. You mean, with that verdict? I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me. Mia, you've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. Mia, I'm sure we'll meet again, someday, Phoenix. I guess it's just like my sis said. Mia, what did she say? That night when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end. But, come on, cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see? Me, sis, and I'm sure Iris too. We owe you for everything you have done for us, Nick. How can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered. Ouch! Oh, Franziska. Still as softy as always, Phoenix Wright. Excellent work, Phoenix. Huh, Mr. Edgeworth? When did you get back? I don't suppose. There's room for me in this group hug, is there? No, there isn't, Larry. Go on home. There's no room here. No, you can just fuck right off, Larry. I suspect you are wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened. Yeah. To be honest, I can't understand it either. Franziska. That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well. Don't worry, my precious Franziska. I will always be watching. Anytime you step inside an elevator, just know my spirit is with you. Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya is trying her best not to cry. Someone who was hurt more deeply than Maya. Edgeworth. I think I'm starting to understand too. Oh, then tell me, Phoenix Wright. Who is Maya Fey being strong for? It's for the good of the Fey clan. I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. I made reservations at a first-class French restaurant tonight. Ah! Pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward. Detective Gumshoe. You said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean... Très bien. Where else? Oh no. I knew it. We're doomed. Oh, Maya, what's wrong? Nick, what do I do? Pearly, I can't find her anywhere. Huh? You guys go on ahead. But what about you? Maya and I we'll join you guys once we find Pearls. Nick. Don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. What's this? You're all back again so soon. I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight. So she's here. Pearly is here. She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her? Okay. Ah, Maya, the hanging scroll. Ah. Someone cleaned it off. Got to be Pearls. Ah, Mystic Maya. Pearly. Why did you just leave like that? Mystic Maya. Mystic Maya! Because it's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother. That's why you came here. It's the least I could do. Pray for your happiness. You don't have to do that, Pearly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course, I'm sad that my mother is gone. But, how do I say this? I'm still happy. You don't have to lie just to make me feel better. No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here is thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick. And you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's all I can really do. Your mother, Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night. After dishonoring the good name of Karain, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya is always in my thoughts. It's true. She'll always be with me. Until the day I die. The spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets. She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? There's a rule or something all masters had to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die. That's the master's talisman. The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important. Rather, it was the contents. That's... Oh shit. A photo? Ah! Mother. Oh, bless. Even when the battle is over, and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother too. I learned that from all of them. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training, I promise. I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3 for when you come back. Aha! Ho ho ho! Hee hee hee! Reservations for training is fine and all. But why for 3? Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us. Huh? We're going to do the special course, naturally. Huh? That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick. You'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right? We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time. Right, Nick? You know, I was wondering if I can say just one little thing. Sure. Of course you can. Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it. I'm getting goosebumps too. Well then. Here goes nothing. And that's the end. I really have to work extra hard now. Master of Karain and the office manager of Wright & Co. law offices. And I'll have to be a good big sister to Pearly and Nick too. Well, as long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that. It's only happened 4 times, Maya. So it's true, Mr. Nick really is Mystic Maya's knight in shining armor. He went through with the special course, all the way to the end. Actually, I heard there's a legendary extra special ultra course here too. I think I'll surprise the two of them by making a secret reservation. Maggie bought me a brand new coat as a present, pal. I feel 10 years younger. I'll never take it off. Yes, but somehow you just don't seem the same. I guess the dirty, shabby old overcoat is just more detective-like, sir. Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself silly. Wait, what? Mr. Wright, I'm once again in your debt. Thanks to you, the Treasures of Karain exhibit was a great success. I even got to see Miss Von Karma, who I hadn't seen for almost a year. She taught me how to use a whip, and said that I must show you what I've learned. Uh-oh. Nessie and I started a company called Mask Star to Mask Consultant. We're dedicated to stopping the evil plans of all the criminals in the city. Our motto is, cut it out, please. Pretty cute, huh? Well, we also sell plans to criminals as a kind of side business. I wonder if that's okay. Sometimes I think maybe we're the worst criminals. I wanted to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Don Tigre, so I lent him $500,000 and the tea set. Special thick tea, one I mixed with my own two hands. I bet he's drinking it now. Win through compromise. He.
I'm just old and in the way. A wrinkly, grumpy clown, nose waste of flesh. At least, that's what I thought. But my grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing. 69. No, Mr. Kudo, no! No, you're not!
As usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We've hired a new programmer to replace Glen Elk. I do hope everyone will get along. His name is Adam Mata. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits would align perfectly. Lisa Basil, you're so forgettable. I'm a my. More reporters. Since the murder, we've made so much money, I hardly know what to do. I think the magazines like us because I provide such a nice visual, especially in spring. I can hardly wait for Iris to come back. Wah ha ha, ho ho ho. You've turned into such a respectable man, Feeny. It was so sweet of you and everyone else to come and visit me here the other day. Of course, I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me, but I feel kind of bad when the little one slapped you so hard you got a nosebleed. Oh! Phoenix Wright, Ben, Grom, and Judd. Miles Edgeworth, Sion King. Mia Fey, Christina Catano.
Objection.
Gatto, James C. Wilson. He just chucked his coffee. Franziska Von Karma, Janet Hugh, is it? Oh, Jesus. Winston Payne, David Chryslip.
No! What's this? I'm back from a long and tiring vacation. No one is here to greet me. I guess while I was gone, my little whippersnapper buddy quit, and now I've got no one. And what kind of lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyway? What with all the flashing lights and switches? I feel like some sort of space alien. And now what am I gonna do with all these macadamia nuts I brought back for everyone? If I bring him over to Edgy, I know exactly what he said he is to Sam. I really can't accept this. I'm afraid of someone that's painful as this fragile heart. Oh, when will I ever find a gentleman to treat me as a refined lady?
I finally found something I love to do. Franzie's Whippity Whip trip is gonna turn the art world on its head. I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artist. A really good portrait artist. I'm not a loser after all. Oh, bless. Gang's all here. Mia, Gatto, and Misty Faye.